Once upon a time, in the lush and lively kingdom of Eldergrove, there was a magical place known as the Glade of Echoes. This glade was renowned for its ancient trees that sang with the wind and the Lantern of Legends, a mystical lantern said to grant one wish to those who approached it with a brave heart and a pure soul. The Lantern of Legends was hidden deep within the glade and could only be found on the night of the Moon Festival, when the sky was filled with shimmering moonbeams. In the charming village of Willowbend, nestled at the edge of the forest, lived a spirited and kind-hearted girl named Mira. Mira was known for her bravery and her love of stories. Her dearest friend was a clever and kind-hearted squirrel named Nutmeg, who was known for her quick thinking and her ability to find hidden paths. One evening, as the Moon Festival began, Mira and Nutmeg discovered an old, intricately carved wooden box buried beneath a bed of wildflowers. Inside the box was a beautifully engraved lantern and a note that read, "The Glade of Echoes awaits. Follow the lantern on the Moon Festival night to unlock its magic." Filled with excitement and a sense of purpose, Mira and Nutmeg set out on their journey. The path to the Glade of Echoes was bathed in the soft, silver light of the moon and the gentle glow of fireflies. As they entered the glade, they were greeted by the mesmerizing beauty of the moonlit trees and the soothing sounds of the singing wind. However, the path to the Lantern of Legends was guarded by 3 enchanting challenges. The first challenge was the Forest of Whispers. This was a dense, shadowy forest where the trees whispered riddles that needed to be solved to find the way forward. A soft, echoing voice from the trees posed a riddle. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Mira thought carefully and then answered, "A joke." The trees rustled with approval, and the path through the Forest of Whispers cleared, leading them to the next challenge. The second challenge was the River of Reflections. This river was filled with shimmering, moonlit water that mirrored their deepest fears and desires. To cross the river, they needed to face their reflections and speak their true intentions. Mira and Nutmeg stepped cautiously to the river's edge. Mira saw her greatest desire, to bring happiness and prosperity to her village, reflected back at her. She spoke with conviction, "I wish for the well-being and joy of everyone in Willowbend, so that we may all thrive together." The river's surface glowed brightly, and a bridge of moonlight appeared, allowing them to cross safely. The final challenge was the Maze of Echoes. In this maze, the walls were lined with echoing whispers that shifted and changed direction. To find their way out, they needed to listen carefully and follow the correct echoes. Nutmeg's sharp ears helped guide them through the maze, and Mira used the lantern to illuminate their path. They carefully followed the echoes until they emerged into a moonlit clearing where the Lantern of Legends awaited. At the center of the clearing stood the Lantern of Legends, its light shimmering with a magical glow. To make their wish, Mira needed to speak her wish aloud with sincerity. Mira approached the lantern and spoke from her heart, "I wish for the happiness and prosperity of everyone in Willowbend, so that we may all live in harmony and joy." As Mira's wish was spoken, the lantern's light expanded, and a soft, golden glow spread throughout the glade and beyond. The magic of the lantern touched every corner of Eldergrove, bringing joy and prosperity to all who lived there. When Mira and Nutmeg returned to Willowbend, they found their village transformed. The fields were lush with crops, the animals were healthy and happy, and the people were filled with a deep sense of contentment and harmony. The tale of Mira and Nutmeg's adventure in the magic of the Lantern of Legends became a cherished story in Eldergrove, reminding everyone of the importance of courage, kindness, and the power of selfless wishes. And so, the Glade of Echoes continued to be a place of wonder and magic, where dreams and wishes came to life under the light of the Moon Festival. The end. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the reaches of ordinary maps, there was a forgotten kingdom known as Luminera. This kingdom was hidden from the eyes of the world, shielded by a powerful enchantment. Its people lived in peace and prosperity, their lives illuminated by a magical silver mirror that hung in the grand hall of the castle. The mirror had the power to reveal the true nature of things and guide the kingdom's rulers with wisdom. However, one fateful night, a sorceress named Morgana, envious of Luminera's beauty and harmony, cast a dark spell over the kingdom. The silver mirror was stolen, and Luminera was plunged into darkness. Without the mirror's light, the kingdom's magic began to fade, and the once vibrant land became shrouded in mist and sorrow. In a small village at the edge of the enchanted forest, a young girl named Eloan lived. Eloan was known for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. She often heard tales of the lost kingdom and its magical mirror from the village elders, and she dreamed of restoring the kingdom to its former glory. One day, while exploring the forest, Eloan stumbled upon an ancient tree with a door carved into its trunk. Intrigued, she opened the door to find an old, dusty journal inside. The journal belonged to the last royal historian of Luminera, and it contained clues about the mirror's whereabouts and how to break the enchantment. Determined to help, Eloan took the journal to the village elder. After studying it carefully, the elder told her, to retrieve the silver mirror and restore Luminera, you must first find the 3 enchanted keys hidden throughout the land. These keys will unlock the path to the mirror and dispel Morgana's dark magic. Armed with the journal and a heart full of courage, Eloan set out on her quest. Her journey took her through lush meadows, over treacherous mountains, and into the depths of mysterious caves. The first key was hidden in the Whispering Grove, a forest where the trees could speak. There, Eloan met a wise old tree named Arboris. The tree spoke in riddles, and Eloan had to solve them to earn the first key. Arboris asked, I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Eloan thought for a moment and replied, fire. Arboris's branches swayed in approval, and he handed her the first key, a delicate silver feather. Next, Eloan ventured to the crystal caverns, where the second key was said to be hidden. The caverns were filled with dazzling crystals that reflected light in every direction. There, she encountered a clever crystal dragon named Ignis. Ignis posed a challenge. To earn the second key, you must find the hidden crystal among the many. Only the one that shines with a pure light is the key you seek. Eloan carefully examined each crystal, guided by her intuition. After a long search, she found the one that glowed with a soft, warm light. Ignis, impressed by her perseverance and heart, gave her the second key, a radiant emerald. Finally, Eloan journeyed to the depths of the dark abyss, where the third key was concealed. The abyss was a treacherous place, filled with shadows and illusions. There, she encountered a gentle, glowing creature named Lumina. Lumina explained, to find the third key, you must face your deepest fear and overcome it with bravery and compassion. Eloan closed her eyes and faced her fears, of losing her way, of failing her quest. With each fear she confronted, she felt a surge of courage and resolve. When she opened her eyes, Lumina handed her the third key, a shimmering sapphire. With all 3 keys in hand, Eloan returned to the enchanted forest and found the entrance to Luminera, hidden behind an ancient veil of magic. She used the keys to unlock the path, revealing a hidden gateway that led to the heart of the kingdom. Inside, Eloan confronted Morgana, who had taken refuge in the grand hall where the silver mirror once hung. Morgana was surrounded by dark, swirling magic. Eloan, with the courage she had gained on her journey, faced the sorceress. The mirror belongs to the people of Luminera, Eloan declared. Its light must return to restore harmony and peace. Morgana, surprised by Eloan's bravery and sincerity, tried to resist but was ultimately overcome by the purity of her heart. The dark enchantments were lifted, and the silver mirror was restored to its rightful place. As the mirror's light spread across the kingdom, Luminera was bathed in a glorious, shimmering glow. The land returned to its former splendor, and the people celebrated the return of their magic. King Cedric, the rightful ruler of Luminera, thanked Eloan for her bravery and selflessness. As a token of their gratitude, he invited her to stay in the kingdom and offered her a place of honor. Eloan chose to return to her village, but she knew she would always be connected to the magic of Luminera. Her tale of courage and the restoration of the silver mirror became a cherished story in both her village and the restored kingdom. And so, the kingdom of Luminera thrived once more, its people living in joy and harmony, forever grateful to the brave girl who ventured into the unknown and brought back the light. The end. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled in a valley surrounded by misty mountains, lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Mira. This village was known for its enchanting night skies, where stars seemed to dance and twinkle more brightly than anywhere else. One evening, as the village prepared for its annual star festival, a sudden, mysterious darkness fell over the valley. The stars, usually so bright, were hidden behind a thick, swirling fog. The villagers were worried, for they believed that the stars were responsible for bringing light and good fortune to their lives. In the center of the village stood an ancient oak tree, beneath which was placed an ornate lantern said to be blessed by the stars themselves. This lantern was traditionally lit during the festival to guide lost spirits and bring hope. But now, with the fog obscuring everything, the lantern remained dark. Mira, determined to restore the village's light, decided to embark on a quest to find out why the stars had disappeared. With a heart full of bravery and a small, enchanted map passed down through generations, she set off into the darkened forest that lay beyond the village. As Mira ventured into the forest, the fog seemed to thicken, and shadows danced ominously around her. But Mira pressed on, guided by her map, which glowed faintly in the darkness. After a while, she came across an old, weathered stone archway covered in ivy. The map indicated that this was the entrance to the Forgotten Grove, a place known only in legends. Through the archway, Mira entered the Forgotten Grove, a magical glen where the trees were adorned with shimmering leaves and the air was filled with a sweet, melodic hum. At the center of the grove stood a majestic, silver tree with a canopy that sparkled like stardust. At the base of the silver tree, Mira encountered an old, wise fairy named Leora. Leora had wings like gossamer and eyes that twinkled with ancient wisdom. "Welcome, brave one," Leora said. "The stars have hidden themselves because their light was stolen by a shadowy creature that thrives on darkness." Leora explained that the creature, known as the Umbral Wisp, had taken the light of the stars to feed its own dark magic. To retrieve the light, Mira would need to find the Umbral Wisp's lair and solve a series of riddles it had set to protect its stolen treasure. Mira thanked Leora and followed the directions given to her. The path led her through the enchanted river, where she had to cross using a series of stepping stones that seemed to appear and disappear in the shimmering water. A voice from the river challenged her with a riddle: "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" After thinking carefully, Mira answered, "A joke." The stepping stones solidified, and she crossed the river safely. Next, Mira entered a cavern illuminated by an eerie, green glow. Inside, the walls were covered in ancient runes, and in the center of the cavern floated a glowing crystal orb. As Mira approached, she was met by the Umbral Wisp itself, a shadowy figure with piercing eyes. "Only those who understand the true meaning of light can retrieve it," the Umbral Wisp declared. It presented Mira with another riddle: "I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Mira pondered the riddle and then answered confidently, "A flame." The Umbral Wisp's eyes flickered, and the cavern's green glow began to fade. The creature, realizing that Mira had understood the true nature of light and darkness, reluctantly released the stolen light. The crystal orb's glow intensified, and the star's light was restored to the sky, dispersing the fog that had blanketed the village. Mira thanked the Umbral Wisp for returning the light and made her way back to the village with the orb. As Mira approached the village, the once hidden stars began to shine brightly again. The lantern beneath the ancient oak tree illuminated with a golden glow, casting light and warmth over the entire valley. The villagers cheered and celebrated, their spirits lifted by the return of the stars. That night, the Star Festival was more magical than ever, with the stars shining down like a blanket of diamonds. Mira was hailed as a hero, and the village continued to celebrate the beauty and magic of the night sky. Mira's bravery and kindness became a cherished story, inspiring future generations to believe in the power of light, courage, and the beauty of the stars. Once upon a time, in a hidden valley embraced by towering mountains and lush forests, there was a charming village named Willowbrook. The village was renowned for its beautiful meadows and sparkling streams, but its greatest treasure was an ancient oak tree at its center, known as the Elder Oak. This tree was said to be the keeper of an ancient magic, but few knew what that magic truly was. Among the villagers was a kind-hearted girl named Elara. Elara lived with her grandmother, who had always told her stories of the Elder Oak and its magical powers. One day, as her grandmother lay ill, she entrusted Elara with a delicate, silver pendant that had been passed down through their family for generations. This pendant, her grandmother said, her voice weak but full of warmth, has always been linked to the Elder Oak. I believe it holds the key to healing and hope. Take it to the tree and see if it can help. Elara took the pendant and promised to do everything she could. She made her way to the Elder Oak, her heart filled with both hope and apprehension. As she approached the ancient tree, she felt a gentle, comforting breeze, as if the tree was welcoming her. The Elder Oak stood majestic and serene, its branches stretching high into the sky and its roots deep in the earth. Elara approached the tree and gently placed the pendant against its trunk. As soon as the pendant touched the tree, a soft, golden glow began to emanate from it. Suddenly, a warm, melodic voice spoke from the tree. "Welcome, Elara. I am the guardian of this ancient magic. The pendant you carry is a key to a powerful enchantment that can bring healing and renewal." Elara was amazed but also anxious. "How can I use this magic to help my grandmother?" The Elder Oak responded, "To unlock the pendant's power, you must embark on a quest to find 3 magical artifacts hidden in the enchanted forest. These artifacts will restore the pendant's full magic, allowing it to heal." With a determined heart, Elara set off into the enchanted forest. The forest was filled with wonders and mysteries, glowing flowers, whispering streams, and trees that seemed to hum with ancient songs. As she ventured deeper, she encountered a friendly fox with shimmering fur. "I can help you find the artifacts," the fox said with a mischievous twinkle in its eye. "Follow me, and we shall embark on this adventure together." The first artifact was a golden feather, said to be the gift of the mythical phoenix. The fox led Elara to a hidden glen where a majestic phoenix perched on a branch, its feathers glowing like the sun. To earn the feather, the phoenix said, "You must solve a riddle. What is both a friend and a guide, shining brightly in the night sky?" Elara thought for a moment and then answered, "The stars." The phoenix smiled and gracefully plucked a golden feather from its plumage, handing it to Elara. "You have answered correctly. This feather will aid you on your journey." Elara and the fox continued their quest, reaching a serene lake where the second artifact, a crystal vial filled with moonlight, was said to be hidden. As Elara approached the lake, she saw a graceful water nymph floating above the surface. To receive the vial, the nymph said, "You must show kindness to the creatures of the lake." Elara noticed a small fish tangled in some reeds and carefully freed it. The nymph, pleased with her compassion, handed over the crystal vial. "You have shown true kindness. This vial will bring you closer to your goal." With 2 artifacts secured, Elara and the fox set out to find the final artifact, a silver harp hidden within a grove of ancient trees. The harp was guarded by a wise old elf with twinkling eyes and a friendly smile. To obtain the harp, the elf said, "You must play a tune that echoes the music of your heart." Elara took a deep breath and played a melody on the harp that was both soothing and heartfelt. The elf, touched by the beauty of her music, gave her the silver harp. "Your music has unlocked the final artifact. Use it wisely." With all 3 artifacts in hand, Elara returned to the Elder Oak. The tree's golden glow intensified as Elara placed the golden feather, the crystal vial, and the silver harp at its base. She then carefully attached the pendant to the tree, and a brilliant light enveloped the Elder Oak. The light spread through the village, reaching Elara's grandmother. As the magic touched her, she awoke with renewed strength and vitality. The entire village rejoiced at the miracle, and Elara felt a deep sense of fulfillment and joy. The Elder Oak spoke once more, its voice filled with gratitude. "You have restored the pendant's magic and healed your grandmother. Remember, true magic lies in the kindness and bravery of your heart." Elara returned home, her grandmother healthy and the village flourishing. The pendant continued to shine with a soft, reassuring glow, a symbol of the magic that lived in every act of courage and love. And so, the tale of Alara and the enchanted pendant became a cherished story in Willowbrook. A reminder of the power of magic and the strength found in a heart full of hope. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village called Meadowbrook, there stood an ancient and majestic willow tree known as the Whispering Willow. Its long, cascading branches seemed to touch the ground, creating a curtain of green that rustled softly in the wind. The villagers believed that the Whispering Willow had a special magic, for it was said to whisper secrets and wishes to those who listened closely. In the heart of Meadowbrook lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Lila. Every day, she would sit beneath the Whispering Willow, listening to its gentle whispers and dreaming of adventure. Lila's heart was full of wonder, and she often wondered if there was more to the tree's magic than just its soft, comforting whispers. One evening, as the sun set and the first stars began to twinkle in the sky, Lila heard a particularly clear whisper from the willow. "Seek the lost star that fell from the sky," it said, "and restore the light that once was." Lila's heart leapt with excitement. She had always loved stories of fallen stars and magical quests. Determined to uncover the truth behind the willow's message, she set out on a journey to find the lost star. As Lila walked through the village and into the surrounding forest, she noticed the landscape changing. The trees grew taller and denser, and the air seemed to shimmer with a soft, otherworldly light. Guided by the whispers of the willow and the twinkling of the stars above, Lila ventured deeper into the forest. After walking for a while, she came across a sparkling stream. The water was crystal clear, and it seemed to glow with a faint, blue light. On the banks of the stream, Lila found a small, glimmering stone that seemed to pulse with a gentle light. Realizing that this might be the lost star, she carefully picked it up and examined it. Just then, a graceful figure appeared beside her. It was a beautiful, ethereal creature with delicate wings and a shimmering gown, a star fairy. The star fairy's name was Seraphina, and her eyes held the wisdom of the ages. "You have found the lost star," Seraphina said with a warm smile. "It fell from the sky long ago, and its light has been missing from the night sky ever since. But to restore its light, you must journey to the summit of stars, where the sky meets the earth." With Seraphina's guidance, Lila continued her journey. They traveled through enchanted forests, across moonlit meadows, and up a winding mountain path. The summit was a breathtaking sight, where the sky seemed to touch the earth in a perfect, celestial embrace. At the summit, there was an ancient, stone altar bathed in moonlight. Seraphina instructed Lila to place the star upon the altar. As Lila carefully set the star in place, it began to glow with an intense, radiant light. The light grew brighter and brighter until it soared into the night sky, joining the constellation of stars that sparkled above. The night sky seemed to come alive with renewed brilliance. The lost star had returned, and its light danced across the heavens, filling the world with a magical glow. Seraphina thanked Lila for her bravery and kindness. "You have restored the light of the star and brought back its magic. The Whispering Willow knew that you were the one who could complete this quest." As a token of gratitude, Seraphina gifted Lila a small vial of stardust. "This stardust will allow you to make a wish and speak to the stars whenever you desire." Lila returned to Meadowbrook with a heart full of joy and wonder. The villagers celebrated her bravery and the return of the star's light. The Whispering Willow, too, seemed to whisper with newfound joy and gratitude. From that day on, Lila continued to listen to the whispers of the willow and the twinkling of the stars. She used the stardust to make wishes that brought happiness and wonder to her village. The tale of the lost star and the brave girl who restored its light became a cherished story, reminding everyone of the magic that lies in believing and following one's heart. And so, Meadowbrook thrived under the glow of the stars, forever enchanted by the magic of the Whispering Willow and the brave girl who brought back the light of the night sky. The end. Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled at the edge of a vast, mystical forest, there was a legend of a magical artifact known as the Starlight Compass. It was said that this compass could guide its holder to their heart's deepest desire and restore balance to their world. For years, the compass had been lost, and the village had fallen into a period of gloom and uncertainty. In the heart of this village lived a young woman named Maris. Maris was known for her kindness and bravery, always helping others in need. One day, the village elder, who had grown frail and wise with age, revealed to Maris that the village's only hope lay in finding the Starlight Compass. The elder explained that the compass had been hidden away in the enchanted forest, guarded by magical creatures and challenging trials. Determined to help her village, Maris set out on a quest to find the Starlight Compass and restore hope to her people. The first challenge, the Whispering Glade. Maris began her journey in the Whispering Glade, a serene meadow where the flowers seemed to whisper secrets of the forest. In the center of the glade stood a great oak tree with a face carved into its trunk. The tree's eyes sparkled with a kind, ancient light. To proceed through the Whispering Glade, the tree said in a voice like rustling leaves, "You must solve this riddle. I have keys, but open no locks. I have space, but no room. You can enter, but not go outside." What am I? Maris pondered the riddle and answered, "A piano." The oak tree's branches swayed in approval, and it parted its boughs to reveal a hidden path leading deeper into the forest. Follow this path to reach the next challenge, the tree instructed. The second challenge, the River of Reflections. Maris followed the path and soon arrived at the River of Reflections, a crystal-clear river that mirrored the sky and surrounding trees perfectly. The river was guarded by a shimmering water sprite who danced gracefully on the water's surface. To cross the River of Reflections, the sprite said with a twinkle in her eyes, "You must answer this question. What can travel around the world while staying in a corner?" Maris thought carefully and replied, "A stamp." The water sprite smiled and conjured a bridge of sparkling water lilies across the river. Maris crossed the river, feeling a surge of hope as she neared her goal. The third challenge, the Cavern of Echoes. On the other side of the river, Maris found herself at the entrance of the Cavern of Echoes, a grand cave with walls that seemed to hum with a soft, resonant melody. At the entrance stood an ancient stone door engraved with celestial symbols. A voice echoed from within the cavern, "To unlock this door and find the Starlight Compass, you must reveal your true heart. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with sincerity." Maris took a deep breath and spoke with honesty, "My deepest wish is to find the Starlight Compass and bring its guidance back to my village. I want to restore hope and bring balance to our lives." The cavern's walls began to glow with a warm, golden light, and the ancient door slowly creaked open, revealing a magnificent chamber. In the center of the chamber rested the Starlight Compass, its needle glowing with a soft, ethereal light. The revelation, restoring the village. With the Starlight Compass in her possession, Maris returned to her village. As she held the compass aloft, its light spread out in a gentle, warm glow that enveloped the village. The crops began to grow again, the rivers flowed with crystal-clear water, and a sense of joy and harmony was restored. The villagers gathered around Maris, marveling at the transformation and celebrating the return of their prosperity and happiness. The elder praised Maris for her courage and selflessness, and the story of her quest became a cherished legend in the village. Under the guiding light of the Starlight Compass, the village thrived once more, and Maris' bravery was remembered as a beacon of hope and kindness. The compass continued to shine brightly, a symbol of the power of dreams and the magic that lies in a pure heart. Once upon a time, in a land where emerald forests kissed the sky and rivers sparkled like diamonds, there was a village named Willowbrook. The village was famous for its music, as its people believed that the right melody could heal the heart and bring joy to all. The most magical of all was the legendary enchanted flute, an ancient instrument said to possess the power to bring peace and prosperity to anyone who played it. For many years, the flute had been lost, and its legend had become a mere whisper among the villagers. But there was one young boy named Finn who believed in the flute's magic with all his heart. Finn was a kind and adventurous soul, known for his love of music and his unshakable optimism. He often dreamed of finding the enchanted flute and bringing its magic back to Willowbrook. One crisp autumn morning, as Finn was walking through the forest, he came across a wise old turtle named Tobias. Tobias had a shell adorned with ancient symbols and seemed to hold the secrets of the forest within his slow, deliberate gaze. "Greetings, young Finn," Tobias said. his voice gentle yet full of wisdom. I have heard of your quest for the enchanted flute. The path you seek is fraught with challenges, but your heart is pure. If you wish to find the flute, you must pass 3 trials that test your courage, kindness, and wisdom. Finn's eyes sparkled with determination. I'm ready. What must I do? Tobias nodded and explained the first trial. In the heart of the Darkwood Forest lies a crystal cave. Inside, you must find the echoing crystal, which holds the key to the next trial. Beware, for the cave is filled with illusions. With a sense of purpose, Finn ventured into the Darkwood Forest. The cave was deep and mysterious, with walls that seemed to shift and shimmer. The deeper he went, the more he was surrounded by illusions of his greatest fears and doubts. But Finn remembered Tobias's words and kept his focus on his true goal. At last, Finn found the echoing crystal resting on a pedestal of moss. He took it carefully, and as he did, the illusions faded, revealing a passage leading out of the cave. The second trial, according to Tobias, was to help a creature in distress. Finn found himself at a serene pond where a beautiful swan with a broken wing floated helplessly. The swan's soft cries echoed across the water. Without hesitation, Finn fashioned a makeshift bandage from his scarf and gently tended to the swan's wing. He spoke soothing words and waited patiently as the swan began to recover. The swan, with its wing mended, nodded gratefully before disappearing into the reeds. The moment the swan was safe, the pond's water shimmered and revealed a hidden path leading to the final trial. The third trial was to solve a riddle posed by a wise old owl perched on a grand oak tree. The owl's eyes glowed with ancient knowledge as it spoke. Speak the truth, young Finn, and you shall find the path you seek. What is the thing that grows but never lives, moves but never walks, and speaks but never has a voice? Finn pondered the riddle, his mind racing through possibilities. Then he remembered the many songs and stories he had heard about the power of nature and the elements. With a smile of understanding, he answered, "A shadow." The owl's eyes twinkled with approval, and it revealed a hidden grove where the enchanted flute lay nestled among the roots of an ancient tree. The flute was delicate and adorned with intricate carvings that seemed to dance in the light. Finn picked up the flute with reverence and played a soft, melodious tune. The sound was pure and enchanting, and as the notes filled the air, they carried a sense of peace and joy that spread throughout the land. Returning to Willowbrook with the enchanted flute, Finn was greeted with awe and celebration. The villagers gathered around, their faces illuminated with happiness as Finn played the magical music. The melody healed old wounds, brought laughter, and united the community like never before. From that day on, the enchanted flute became a cherished treasure of Willowbrook, and Finn was celebrated as a hero. The village thrived with newfound prosperity and harmony, all thanks to the boy with a heart full of courage and kindness. And so, Finn's story was told for generations, a reminder of the magic that exists in pure hearts and the power of believing in the wonders of the world. Once upon a time, in a lush green forest, there stood a mighty oak tree. This tree was home to many animals, but its most special treasure was the little acorn that hung from one of its branches. The little acorn was small but full of dreams. It often looked down at the forest floor and wondered what it would be like to grow into a big, strong tree just like its mother. The other acorns laughed at the little acorn because it was so small and always dreaming. "You'll never be as big as the oak tree," they teased. But the little acorn didn't listen to them. It believed in itself and knew that one day, it would be something great. One windy autumn day, the little acorn felt a strong breeze shake the branches of the oak tree. The wind was so powerful that it made the little acorn tremble. Suddenly, the little acorn lost its grip on the branch and began to fall. Down, down, down it tumbled, until it landed softly on the forest floor. The little acorn looked around and saw the tall grass, colorful mushrooms, and even a family of squirrels who lived nearby. Everything seemed so big, and the little acorn felt so small. But instead of being scared, the little acorn whispered to itself, "This is where my journey begins." The days grew shorter, and the air became colder as winter approached. The little acorn was soon covered by fallen leaves, which kept it warm and safe. Beneath the ground, something magical started to happen. The little acorn began to grow roots, and those roots slowly spread out, searching for water and nutrients in the soil. As winter turned to spring, the forest came alive with the sounds of birds chirping and animals waking up from their winter slumber. The little acorn had changed too. From the top of the acorn, a tiny green shoot emerged, reaching for the sunlight. Day by day, the shoot grew taller, until it became a small sapling with leaves of its own. The other plants and trees in the forest were amazed. "Look at that little sapling," they said. "It used to be just a tiny acorn, but now it's growing strong." The little sapling was happy but knew that its journey was far from over. Every day, it stretched its branches higher and dug its roots deeper, drinking in the sunshine and the rain. The sapling faced many challenges: strong winds, heavy rains, and even a hungry rabbit that nibbled at its leaves, but it never gave up. As the years passed, the sapling grew into a young oak tree. It wasn't as tall or as wide as the other trees yet, but it was sturdy and full of life. The animals in the forest came to know the young oak tree and admired its strength and determination. One summer, a terrible storm swept through the forest. The wind howled, and the rain poured down in sheets. The older trees, tall and strong, were shaken to their roots. Some even lost branches, and a few were uprooted entirely. But the young oak tree stood firm, its deep roots holding it steady in the storm. When the storm finally passed, the forest was quiet. The animals peeked out from their shelters and saw the damage the storm had done. But there, standing tall and proud, was the young oak tree. It had survived the storm without losing a single branch. The forest animals gathered around the young oak tree and cheered. "You were just a little acorn, but now you're a mighty oak. You've shown us all that size doesn't matter, it's the strength inside that counts." The young oak tree was filled with pride and joy. It had grown from a tiny acorn into a strong tree, just like it had always dreamed. And though it still had many years of growing ahead, it knew that it would continue to thrive, no matter what challenges came its way. From that day on, the young oak tree stood as a symbol of hope and courage in the forest. Whenever a new acorn fell to the ground, the animals would tell the story of the brave little acorn that never gave up. And as they listened, the new acorns would dream of the day they, too, would grow into strong, mighty oaks. And so, the little acorn story spread through the forest, inspiring every creature, big and small, to believe in themselves and to never give up on their dreams. And that, dear reader, is the tale of the brave little acorn, who grew into a mighty oak tree. The end. Once upon a time, in the heart of the magical kingdom of Eldoria, there was a mysterious and ancient forest known as the Forest of Echoes. The forest was known for its magical properties, and every sound within it would echo back with a new meaning or lesson. Legends spoke of a hidden treasure deep within the forest that could only be found by someone who truly understood the echo's messages. In a nearby village lived a curious young girl named Lena. Lena was known for her inquisitive nature and her love for exploring the unknown. She had always been fascinated by the Forest of Echoes and the legends surrounding it. One day, her grandmother fell ill with a rare ailment that no healer could cure. Hearing that the forest might hold a cure or a solution, Lena decided to venture into the Forest of Echoes in search of the hidden treasure. Early one morning, Lena set off into the forest with a small satchel, a map of the forest's landmarks, and a heart full of hope. The forest was a labyrinth of towering trees, shimmering with mystical light, and a symphony of sounds that seemed to dance in the air. As Lena ventured deeper into the forest, she came across a babbling brook. As she leaned closer to listen to its soothing sound, the brook's echo spoke to her. "To find what you seek, you must listen with care. The path to the treasure is hidden, but the answers are there." Intrigued, Lena followed the sound of the brook and discovered a series of stepping stones leading across it. Carefully, she stepped from stone to stone, crossing the brook safely. On the other side, she saw a path winding through the forest, marked with glowing symbols on the trees. The next challenge came in the form of a dense thicket. As Lena made her way through, the rustling leaves and branches began to whisper. The echoes of their rustling carried a riddle, From the seed to the tree, what does it need to grow? It starts in the dark and reaches for the light, though. Lena pondered the riddle, remembering her grandmother's stories of nature and growth. She realized the answer was nurture. With this insight, she carefully tended to the thicket, moving branches and clearing the path. As she did so, the thicket parted to reveal a hidden glade bathed in golden sunlight. In the center of the glade was a magnificent tree, its branches adorned with sparkling fruits that looked like precious gems. At the base of the tree was a large, ancient door covered in intricate carvings. The echoes of the forest spoke again. To enter the door, your heart must be true. A simple key lies within you. Lena understood that the key was not a physical object but a reflection of her own heart and intentions. She took a deep breath and placed her hand on the door. As she did, the carvings began to glow, and the door creaked open to reveal a beautiful, luminous chamber. Inside the chamber was a pedestal with a glowing crystal at its center. The crystal was the hidden treasure of the Forest of Echoes, known for its healing properties and its ability to grant wisdom. Lena approached the pedestal, and the echoes of the forest filled the chamber with a soothing melody. As she reached for the crystal, a gentle voice spoke from within the chamber. You have shown courage, wisdom, and a kind heart. The treasure is yours to take, but remember, its power lies in its purpose. Lena carefully took the crystal and made her way back to the village. Upon her return, she used the crystal's healing magic to cure her grandmother and bring wellness to the entire village. The crystal's light brought hope and renewal, and the village flourished once more. Lena's bravery and kindness became a legend in Eldoria, and the Forest of Echoes was celebrated as a place of wisdom and magic. The story of Lena's journey was passed down through generations, reminding all who heard it of the importance of listening, understanding, and using one's heart to guide their way. And so, Lena continued to explore and learn, her heart ever open to the lessons of the world. The Forest of Echoes remained a place of wonder and enchantment, where every echo held a secret waiting to be discovered. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom called Luminera, there was a small village named Crestwood. This village was nestled between rolling hills and bordered by the vast, mysterious Whispering Sea. Crestwood was known for its harmony and prosperity, thanks to the magical golden feather that hung in the village square. It was said that the feather was a gift from the legendary phoenix, and it brought good fortune and abundant harvests to the village. One day, a terrible storm struck Crestwood. The winds howled and the sea raged, and when the storm finally passed, the villagers discovered that the golden feather was missing. The village was plunged into despair, and the crops began to wither. The village elders, desperate to restore their prosperity, called for a meeting to decide what to do. In Crestwood lived a young boy named Finn, known for his adventurous spirit and kind heart. Finn loved listening to the tales of the phoenix and dreamed of one day seeing the mythical bird. When he heard about the missing feather, he felt a deep sense of responsibility and volunteered to find it. The villagers were hesitant at first, worried for Finn's safety, but his determination and courage won them over. The village elders gave him a map, said to lead to the Enchanted Isle, where the phoenix resided. They also gave him a small, enchanted compass that would guide him through the treacherous sea. With the compass in hand and the map tucked safely in his satchel, Finn set off towards the Whispering Sea. As he reached the shore, he found an old, weathered boat waiting for him. Taking a deep breath, he pushed the boat into the water and began his journey. The sea was unpredictable and filled with hidden dangers. Finn faced fierce storms, swirling whirlpools, and creatures of the deep. But the enchanted compass always guided him through the perilous waters. After days of arduous travel, he finally saw a glimmering island in the distance, the Enchanted Isle. As Finn approached the island, he was greeted by an array of magical creatures, talking animals, shimmering fairies, and gentle giants. They welcomed him warmly and led him to the heart of the isle, where the legendary phoenix resided. The phoenix was a magnificent bird with feathers of gold and red, radiating warmth and light. It perched on a high, crystal cliff, overlooking the island. As Finn approached, the phoenix looked down at him with wise, curious eyes. "Brave child, why do you seek me?" the phoenix asked, its voice resonating like a beautiful melody. Finn explained the plight of his village and the missing golden feather. The phoenix listened intently, its eyes reflecting both sorrow and hope. "The feather was stolen by the shadow sorcerer," the phoenix said. "He seeks to drain its magic to spread darkness across the land. You must retrieve it from his lair in the Black Mountains, beyond this isle." The task seemed daunting, but Finn's resolve was unwavering. The phoenix, moved by his bravery, offered him one of its own feathers. "This feather will protect you from the sorcerer's dark magic and guide you to his lair. But remember, only a heart pure and true can wield its power." Thanking the phoenix, Finn set off towards the Black Mountains. The journey was perilous, and the path was fraught with traps and dark creatures summoned by the shadow sorcerer. Yet, with the phoenix's feather in hand, Finn pressed on, his heart filled with determination. As he reached the base of the Black Mountains, he encountered a young girl named Lyra, who had been imprisoned by the sorcerer. Lyra possessed knowledge of the mountains and offered to help Finn navigate the treacherous terrain. Grateful for her assistance, Finn agreed, and together they climbed the towering peaks. The closer they got to the sorcerer's lair, the stronger the dark magic became. Shadows danced and whispered, trying to lead them astray, but the phoenix's feather glowed brightly, repelling the darkness. Finally, they reached the sorcerer's lair, a dark, foreboding cave at the mountain's summit. Inside, they found the shadow sorcerer, a tall, menacing figure with eyes like burning coals. He held the golden feather, its light dimmed and flickering. "Foolish children," he hissed. "You think you can take this from me?" Finn stepped forward, his voice steady. "The feather belongs to my village. We will take it back." The sorcerer laughed, summoning dark magic to attack them. But as he did, Finn held up the phoenix's feather, and its radiant light clashed with the sorcerer's darkness. The cave filled with a brilliant light, and the sorcerer's power began to wane. Lyra, drawing strength from the light, joined Finn, and together they confronted the sorcerer. With a final, powerful surge, the phoenix's feather shattered the sorcerer's dark magic, and he was banished from the land. The golden feather floated gently into Finn's hands, its light restored. The sorcerer's lair began to crumble, but Finn and Lyra escaped just in time, returning to the enchanted isle. The phoenix greeted them with a joyful song, and the island rejoiced. With the feather safely in his possession, Finn sailed back to Crestwood, Lyra by his side. The village erupted in celebration upon their return. Finn placed the feather back in its rightful place, and its magic spread across the land, restoring the crops and bringing prosperity once more. Finn and Lyra were hailed as heroes, their bravery and friendship celebrated by all. The story of their quest spread far and wide, inspiring others to act with courage and kindness. And so, Crestwood lived happily ever after, forever grateful for the brave boy who brought back the golden feather and saved their village. The end. In the heart of a lush, green valley, there lay a hidden village called Willow Glen. The village was known for its ancient willow tree, whose branches draped gracefully into a sparkling pond. This tree was said to possess magic that could grant one wish to those who proved themselves worthy. The village's guardian of the willow was a wise old woman named Elda, who knew all the secrets of the tree. One day, a young girl named Clara arrived in Willow Glen. She was on a quest to find her missing mother, who had mysteriously disappeared many moons ago. Clara had heard about the willow's magic and hoped it could help her find her mother. Elda welcomed Clara and listened to her story. The willow's magic is powerful, but to unlock it, you must complete 3 tasks that test your heart and spirit. Only then will the tree reveal the truth you seek. Determined to find her mother, Clara agreed to the tasks. Task 1, the Bridge of Courage. Clara's first task was to cross a rickety old bridge that spanned a deep chasm. The bridge was known for being unstable, with creaky wooden planks and a swift river below. As Clara approached, she noticed a small bird perched on the edge, chirping frantically. It turned out that the bird had lost its nest, which had fallen into the chasm. With great care, Clara used her courage and ingenuity. She tied vines together to create a makeshift rope and carefully descended into the chasm. There, she found the nest, gently retrieving it and climbing back up to the bridge. The grateful bird led Clara across the bridge, and as she reached the other side, the bridge steadied and became solid, allowing her to continue. Task 2, the Forest of Shadows. The second task led Clara into the Forest of Shadows, a place where darkness seemed to cling to every tree and path. The forest was said to be haunted by illusions and fears. Clara ventured in, her heart pounding as the shadows danced around her. In the midst of the forest, she encountered a giant, shadowy beast that blocked her way. Though frightened, Clara remembered the stories of her mother, who had taught her about kindness and bravery. She approached the beast and spoke softly, acknowledging its pain and fear. The beast, revealed to be a misunderstood spirit, was moved by Clara's compassion. It allowed her to pass and gave her a glowing crystal as a token of its gratitude. Task 3, the Lake of Truth. The final task was to seek the Lake of Truth, where Clara would find an answer to her quest. The lake was shrouded in mist, and its waters were still and mysterious. Clara approached the lake and gently placed the glowing crystal into the water. As the crystal touched the surface, the lake shimmered and a figure emerged, a vision of her mother, smiling warmly. Clara's heart soared with hope as her mother spoke through the mist. "I am safe, dear Clara. I chose to leave to protect you and our village from an ancient danger. The willow tree's magic has guided you here to find me, and now it is time for you to be brave and lead our people." The vision faded, and Clara felt a sense of peace and purpose. She returned to the village with the knowledge that her mother was safe and that she had been chosen to protect Willow Glen. Elda greeted Clara with pride and handed her a branch from the ancient willow tree. "You have completed the tasks with honor and bravery. The magic of the willow is now yours to protect and share." Clara embraced her new role, using the magic of the willow to bring prosperity and harmony to Willow Glen. The village flourished, and the ancient willow continued to stand tall, its magic a symbol of courage, love, and the strength found within. And so, Clara's journey became a cherished tale, passed down through generations, a reminder that even in the darkest times, bravery and kindness could light the way. Once upon a time, in a realm where seasons changed like the pages of a book, there was a hidden kingdom known as Verdantia. Verdantia was unique because it experienced eternal spring. The land was always lush and blooming, with flowers of every color carpeting the ground and trees heavy with fruit. The kingdom's ruler, Queen Aloan, had a special gift: she could control the seasons, ensuring that Verdantia stayed in a perpetual state of spring. The kingdom thrived under Queen Aloan's care, and its people were content and happy. However, there was one thing Queen Aloan wished for more than anything else: to see the world beyond Verdantia. She had heard tales of lands where the seasons changed and was curious to experience them for herself. One day, as she gazed out over her flourishing kingdom, she noticed something unusual: a withered, leafless tree at the edge of the enchanted forest, which was known to be Eternal Spring's heart. It seemed out of place in the otherwise vibrant landscape. Intrigued, she decided to investigate. The heart of the enchanted forest, accompanied by her loyal advisor, Sir Cedric, Queen Aloan ventured into the enchanted forest. The deeper they went, the more the forest seemed to shift and change, its magic responding to their presence. They finally reached the withered tree, which stood alone in a small clearing. Its bark was cracked, and its branches were bare. As Queen Aloan approached, the tree began to speak in a faint, whispering voice. "I am the keeper of seasons," it said. "Long ago, I balanced the flow of time and seasons across the land. But now, I am weak and fading. The balance is disrupted, and without my strength, Verdantia's spring will eventually wither away." Queen Aloan listened carefully as the tree explained that it needed a special artifact, the Sunstone, to restore its power and balance the seasons once more. The Sunstone was said to be hidden in the Winterlands, a far-off land where snow and ice reigned. The journey to the Winterlands determined to save her kingdom, Queen Aloan set out on a journey to find the Sunstone. She and Sir Cedric traveled through mountains, across vast deserts, and finally reached the borders of the Winterlands. Here, the world was covered in snow and ice, a stark contrast to Verdantia's eternal spring. They ventured into the Winterlands and encountered many challenges: treacherous ice caves, blinding snowstorms, and the cold-hearted Frost King, who ruled the land. The Frost King was initially reluctant to help but was eventually moved by Queen Eloin's dedication to her people. The Frost King's test to obtain the Sunstone, Queen Eloin had to pass the Frost King's test. He presented her with a series of trials designed to test her courage, wisdom, and kindness. Each trial was more difficult than the last, but with Sir Cedric's help and her own inner strength, Queen Eloin succeeded in every challenge. The final trial was to find a hidden crystal heart buried deep within a frozen lake. The heart was guarded by a fearsome ice dragon. Queen Eloin approached the dragon with respect and kindness, explaining her mission and her love for her kingdom. The ice dragon, moved by her sincerity, allowed her to retrieve the crystal heart. It was revealed that the heart was connected to the Sunstone, which the Frost King presented to her as a reward. Restoring the balance with the Sunstone in hand, Queen Eloin and Sir Cedric returned to Verdantia. They journeyed back through the enchanted forest and to the withered tree. As they placed the Sunstone at the base of the tree, its magic surged, and the once barren branches began to bloom with vibrant leaves and flowers. The enchanted forest was restored to its full glory, and the tree's strength was renewed. Queen Eloin realized that the balance of the seasons was important not only for the world but also for the growth and change that made life beautiful. A new understanding with the restoration of the tree's magic, Queen Eloin felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She had gained a new appreciation for the changing seasons and the beauty they brought to the world. Although Verdantia remained in spring, she now understood the value of each season's unique gifts. The kingdom celebrated the return of balance and harmony, and Queen Eloin shared stories of her journey with her people. Verdantia flourished even more, and its people learned to appreciate the beauty of all seasons. Queen Eloin's adventure had taught her that true wisdom comes from understanding and embracing the world's diversity. And so, Verdantia thrived with a renewed sense of wonder and appreciation for the magic that bound their eternal spring to the changing world beyond. The end. Once upon a time, in a hidden valley surrounded by towering mountains and lush forests, there was a small village named Willowbrook. Willowbrook was a peaceful place, known for its vibrant meadows and the gentle river that flowed through it. The villagers lived simple lives, but they cherished a magical relic, an old locket that was said to hold the key to great secrets and wonders. The locket had been passed down through generations and was kept safe in the village's ancient oak tree, where it was said to glow faintly under the light of the full moon. The villagers believed that the locket had the power to grant a single wish to someone with a pure heart. Among the villagers was a kind-hearted young girl named Arya. Arya was known for her bravery and her love for animals. Though she was content with her life, she often dreamed of a grand adventure. When she learned of the locket's magical properties, Arya felt a deep desire to find out if she could use it to help her village, which had recently been plagued by a mysterious blight that threatened their crops and livelihood. One evening, under the light of the full moon, Arya decided to take a closer look at the locket. As she approached the ancient oak tree, she found that the locket's glow was stronger than ever. The locket seemed to be calling out to her, and with a mix of excitement and nervousness, Arya reached out and carefully removed it from its resting place. The moment she held the locket in her hands, a soft, melodious voice spoke from within it. "Greetings, Arya. I am the spirit of the locket. To use the magic within, you must embark on a quest to restore balance to the land." Arya listened intently as the spirit explained that the blight affecting her village was caused by an imbalance in nature. To restore harmony, Arya needed to find 3 enchanted items scattered throughout the land: the Sunstone, the Moonflower, and the Heartwood. Each item was protected by magical guardians, and Arya had to prove her worthiness by overcoming challenges that tested her courage, kindness, and wisdom. With determination, Arya set off on her quest. Her first destination was the Golden Hills, where the Sunstone was said to be hidden. As she climbed the hills, she encountered a fierce storm that threatened to drive her back. But Arya remembered the spirit's words and pressed on, finding shelter in a cave where an old sage awaited her. The sage, who introduced himself as Elder Thorn, told Arya that to obtain the Sunstone, she must first calm the storm that raged outside. Using her kindness and bravery, Arya spoke to the storm as if it were a frightened child, soothing its fury with gentle words and heartfelt promises. The storm subsided, and Elder Thorn rewarded her with the radiant sunstone. Next, Arya traveled to the Twilight Forest, where the moonflower was said to bloom only in the presence of true moonlight. The forest was filled with winding paths and magical creatures. As she ventured deeper, she encountered a mischievous sprite who tried to lead her astray with illusions and tricks. Arya remained focused and used her wisdom to see through the sprite's tricks. She followed the real path, guided by the soft glow of the moonflower, which she found blooming beneath a grand, ancient tree. The sprite, impressed by Arya's perseverance, allowed her to take the moonflower and gave her a blessing for her journey. The final destination was the Heartwood Grove, where the Heartwood was guarded by a majestic forest guardian. Upon reaching the grove, Arya met the guardian, a powerful creature with antlers like branches and eyes that glowed with ancient wisdom. The guardian told Arya that to earn the Heartwood, she must show her genuine love for nature. Arya spent the day tending to the grove, healing injured animals and nurturing the plants. Her heartfelt care and dedication moved the guardian, who bestowed the Heartwood upon her. With all three enchanted items in hand, Arya returned to Willowbrook. She used the sunstone to bring warmth and light to the blighted fields, the moonflower to restore the land's magical balance, and the Heartwood to heal the land's deep-rooted wounds. The crops flourished once more, and the village rejoiced. The spirit of the locket appeared once again, praising Arya for her bravery, kindness, and wisdom. The village thrived, and the locket's magic continued to shine brightly as a symbol of hope and harmony. Arya's adventure became a cherished tale in Willowbrook, a reminder of the power of courage and the importance of caring for the world around us. And so, with the land healed and her heart full, Arya lived happily, always ready for new adventures and discoveries.
In the serene village of Luminara, nestled at the edge of a vast forest, there was a magical lake known as Starry Lake. Each night, the lake would shimmer with 1,000 points of light, reflecting the stars above. The villagers spoke of an ancient legend that a rare moonstone, hidden deep beneath the lake, had the power to grant a single, heartfelt wish to those who found it. Arya, a brave and kind-hearted young woman, had always been fascinated by this legend. Her village was facing a severe drought, and she hoped the moonstone could bring rain and restore their lands. As the full moon rose high in the sky, bathing everything in a soft, silvery light, Arya decided to embark on a quest to find the moonstone. Arya set out with a lantern, a map of the village, and a small satchel of supplies. She walked through the forest, the moonlight guiding her way. The trees whispered ancient secrets, and the path was lined with glowing mushrooms. Along the way, Arya encountered a wise old owl perched on a low branch. "Hoot, you seek the moonstone, I see," the owl said. "To reach it, you must first find the 3 enchanted keys scattered across the forest. They will unlock the path to the moonstone." Arya thanked the owl and continued her journey. The forest was alive with magical creatures and mystical sights. She knew her quest was just beginning. Key 1. The Key of Courage The first key was hidden in a cave guarded by a fearsome dragon. The cave's entrance was shrouded in mist, and the dragon's fiery breath lit up the darkness within. Arya approached the cave with a steady heart. She noticed a small, clever mechanism on the cave's entrance that would distract the dragon. Using a well-aimed stone and a bit of bravery, she created a diversion. While the dragon was distracted, she swiftly retrieved the Key of Courage from within the cave. The dragon, recognizing Arya's bravery, allowed her to leave in peace. Key 2. The Key of Wisdom The second key lay in the heart of an ancient, magical library guarded by a talking tree. The library was filled with scrolls and books that glowed with a faint light. The tree, with branches like outstretched arms, presented Arya with a riddle. "Forward I am heavy, but backward I am not. What am I?" Arya thought deeply, recalling tales from her childhood. With a smile, she answered, "The answer is Tun." The tree's branches swayed in approval, and the Key of Wisdom appeared from among the scrolls. Key 3. The Key of Kindness The final key was located in a meadow where various magical creatures were in distress. A wicked enchantment had caused the creatures to argue and fight. Arya, with her gentle nature and compassion, calmed the creatures and helped them resolve their conflicts. In gratitude, the creatures revealed the key of kindness hidden beneath a large, blooming flower. Arya took the key, knowing that her kindness had restored peace to the meadow. With all 3 keys in hand, Arya made her way back to Starry Lake. The lake's surface sparkled with moonlight, and a mysterious, magical door beneath the water awaited her. The door was adorned with intricate designs and 3 keyholes. Arya inserted the keys into their respective slots. As each key turned, the door glowed brighter, and a soft, melodious chime echoed through the lake. With a final click, the door opened to reveal a hidden underwater passageway. Arya followed the passageway to a grand underwater chamber. In the center of the chamber stood a pedestal with the moonstone resting atop it. The stone was radiant, its light pulsating with a soft, calming glow. As Arya approached, a gentle voice filled the chamber. "You have proven your courage, wisdom, and kindness. The moonstone is now yours to use. Make your wish with a pure heart." Arya closed her eyes and made her wish, for rain to fall upon her village, to restore the land and provide for her people. The moonstone's light intensified, and a warm, gentle rain began to fall from above. Returning to her village, Arya was greeted by the sight of the rain nourishing the parched land. The fields began to green, and the rivers flowed once more. The villagers rejoiced, grateful for the miracle that had saved their home. Arya's bravery, wisdom, and kindness were celebrated throughout the kingdom. The legend of the Moonstone and the hero who found it became a cherished tale in Luminara. The Moonstone was placed in a special shrine by the lake, where its light continued to shine as a beacon of hope and magic. The tale of Arya's quest inspired generations to come, reminding them that true magic lies in the qualities of the heart. And so, the story of the Starry Lake and the Moonstone quest became a timeless legend, a symbol of the power of courage, wisdom, and kindness.
Once upon a time, in a land where rolling meadows met ancient forests, there was a small village known as Stardust Hollow. The village was famous for its clear, night skies filled with twinkling stars, and every child was told stories of the Star Tree, a magical tree that bore the brightest star once every 100 years. According to legend, whoever found and made a wish upon the Star Tree's luminous star would have their deepest wish granted. However, the Star Tree was hidden deep within the enchanted forest, a place where magical creatures roamed and the paths were ever-changing. In Stardust Hollow lived a brave and curious girl named Lila. Lila had always dreamed of seeing the Star Tree and making a wish for her village, which had been struggling with a long drought. She believed that the magic of the Star Tree could bring the rain they so desperately needed. One clear night, as the stars sparkled overhead, Lila decided it was time to embark on the quest. She packed a small satchel with essentials, a map of the forest, a lantern, a few snacks, and a special locket that had been passed down in her family for generations. The locket was said to hold a piece of stardust, a gift from her grandmother who had once wished for hope and joy. With a determined heart, Lila set off towards the enchanted forest. As she entered the forest, the trees seemed to whisper and the path ahead glowed faintly with moonlight. Lila used the map and her locket to guide her, but the forest was full of surprises. After walking for hours, Lila encountered a mischievous squirrel who was busy collecting acorns. The squirrel chattered excitedly and said, "To find the Star Tree, you must solve 3 riddles. Only then will the way reveal itself." Lila agreed, and the squirrel began the first riddle. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Lila thought for a moment and answered, "An echo." "Correct," said the squirrel, handing her a small, glowing acorn. "This will help you on your journey. Now, for the second riddle, I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Lila pondered and then said, "A joke." "Very good," said the squirrel, giving her another glowing acorn. For the final riddle, I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? After some thought, Lila answered, a fire. The squirrel nodded approvingly and handed her the last glowing acorn. You've done well. Follow the light of these acorns, and it will lead you to the star tree. With the acorns in hand, Lila continued her journey. The glowing acorns cast a warm light through the dark forest, guiding her towards a hidden grove. As she entered the grove, she saw a magnificent tree standing tall in the center. Its branches were adorned with countless sparkling stars, and the largest star at the very top glowed with an enchanting brilliance. Lila approached the star tree and gazed up in awe. She took out her locket, which began to glow in response to the tree's light. With a heart full of hope, Lila closed her eyes and made a wish for rain to restore her village's land. As soon as she finished her wish, the large star at the top of the star tree began to shimmer and shoot a stream of stardust down towards Lila. The stardust danced around her, and the grove was filled with a warm, soothing light. Lila felt a gentle breeze and a sense of calm. The next morning, as Lila returned to her village, she found that dark clouds had gathered overhead, and rain began to fall. The drought was ending, and the land was being nourished once more. The villagers celebrated the return of the rain and marveled at the magic that had brought them hope. Lila's adventure and her wish for the village became a cherished story, told to every child in Stardust Hollow. The star tree's magic had not only brought rain but also reminded everyone of the power of hope and belief. And so, the village thrived under the renewed bounty of nature, and Lila's bravery and kindness became a lasting legacy. The enchanted forest continued to hold its secrets, and the star tree's light shone as a symbol of dreams fulfilled and wishes granted. The end. Once upon a time, in a charming village called Celestia, nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there lived a young girl named Mira. Celestia was renowned for its breathtaking night skies, where stars seemed to dance and twinkle like a sea of diamonds. Every evening, the villagers would gather to gaze at the stars and tell tales of magical constellations. Mira had always been fascinated by the stars, but there was one story that captivated her more than any other, the tale of the Starlight Lantern. According to legend, the lantern was an ancient artifact that could capture the light of the stars and grant a single wish to the one who found it. However, the lantern had been lost for centuries, and no one knew where it lay. One crisp, clear night, as Mira lay in her bed, she gazed out of her window and saw a shooting star streak across the sky. She closed her eyes and made a heartfelt wish, I wish to find the Starlight Lantern and bring its magic to Celestia. The next morning, Mira woke with a sense of determination. She decided that she would set out on a quest to find the legendary lantern. Armed with a map of the constellations and a sturdy backpack, she ventured into the forest that bordered the village. The forest was filled with enchanting sounds, the rustle of leaves, the chirping of birds, and the gentle flow of a nearby stream. Mira followed the map, which led her through a series of trails and pathways marked by star-shaped stones. As she walked, Mira encountered a wise old owl perched on a low branch. The owl's feathers were speckled with patterns that resembled the night sky. Greetings, young Mira, the owl hooted softly. I have heard of your quest. To find the Starlight Lantern, you must complete 3 trials that test your heart, your courage, and your wisdom. Mira nodded, ready to take on the challenges. What are the trials? The owl explained the first trial. You must cross the River of Reflections, where the water shows not only your face but your true self. Only those who are honest and true can cross safely. Mira approached the river, its surface shimmering like a mirror. As she stepped onto the stepping stones, the water revealed her deepest fears and insecurities. But Mira looked into her own reflection with bravery and accepted her true self. The water calmed, and the path across the river became clear. The second trial was to climb the Mountain of Echoes, where Mira had to listen to the echoes of her own voice and find the correct path. As she climbed, the echoes called out her doubts and fears. Mira focused on her inner strength, and by following her heart's guidance, she reached the summit. At the top of the mountain, she found a small, glowing crystal embedded in the rock. The crystal, once touched, revealed a hidden path that led to the final trial. The final trial was to solve a riddle posed by a shimmering, star-like creature that floated gently above the ground. The creature's voice was like a melodious chime as it asked, "I have 1,000 faces, but only one light. I can guide you through darkness, but I cannot shine on my own. What am I?" Mira pondered the riddle and then answered confidently, "The moon." The star-like creature twinkled with approval and pointed towards a hidden grove surrounded by luminous flowers. In the center of the grove stood an ornate pedestal with the starlight lantern resting atop it. The lantern was beautiful, adorned with celestial patterns and glowing softly with the light of the stars. Mira approached the lantern with reverence. As she held it, the lantern's light grew brighter, filling the grove with a warm, magical glow. Mira made her wish, "I wish for the magic of the lantern to bring joy and light to the village of Celestia." The lantern's light soared into the sky, merging with the stars and showering the village with a gentle, sparkling light. The villagers gathered in awe as the lantern's magic filled their hearts with happiness and wonder. When Mira returned to Celestia, she was welcomed with cheers and celebrations. The village flourished under the lantern's magic, with every night being illuminated by a beautiful, starry glow that seemed to bring the constellations closer. Mira's bravery and kindness were celebrated, and the story of the Starlight Lantern became a cherished tale in Celestia. The lantern's magic continued to inspire the villagers to look up at the night sky with hope and wonder. And so, Celestia thrived in the light of the stars, and Mira's wish became a lasting legacy of magic and joy. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between lush forests and shimmering lakes, there was a legend of a magical lantern called the Lantern of Everlight. This lantern was said to have the power to grant any wish and bring light and joy to the darkest of places. For years, it had been lost, and the village had fallen into a time of uncertainty and gloom. In this village lived a brave and kind-hearted boy named Finn. Finn had always been fascinated by the tales of the Lantern of Everlight, and he believed that finding it could restore happiness to his village. One day, when a particularly fierce storm battered the village, causing widespread damage and despair, Finn decided it was time to embark on a quest to find the legendary lantern. The first challenge, the Enchanted Forest. Finn's journey began in the Enchanted Forest, a place known for its mysterious beauty and magical inhabitants. As he ventured deeper into the forest, he encountered a wise old deer with antlers that seemed to glow faintly in the dim light. To pass through the enchanted forest, the deer said in a voice like the rustling leaves, "You must solve this riddle. I am not alive, but I grow. I don't have lungs, but I need air. I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I?" Finn thought for a moment and answered, "Fire." The deer's eyes glowed with approval, and it stepped aside to reveal a hidden path through the forest. "Follow this path to reach your next challenge," the deer instructed. The second challenge, the Crystal Lake. Following the deer's directions, Finn arrived at the Crystal Lake, a serene and reflective body of water surrounded by towering cliffs. The lake was guarded by a graceful swan with feathers that sparkled like diamonds. To cross the Crystal Lake, the swan said with a gentle voice, "You must answer this question. I am always hungry, I must always be fed. The finger I touch will soon turn red. What am I?" Finn pondered the question and replied, "Fire." The swan's eyes twinkled with delight, and it used its wings to create a bridge of shimmering light across the lake. Finn carefully crossed the lake, his heart full of hope and determination. The third challenge, the Cave of Whispers. On the other side of the lake, Finn discovered the Cave of Whispers, a dark and cavernous space filled with glowing crystals that cast eerie shadows on the walls. At the entrance of the cave was a grand, ancient door adorned with celestial symbols. A soft voice echoed through the cave, "To open this door and find the Lantern of Everlight, you must reveal your true heart. Share your deepest wish and prove that you seek it with pure intentions." Finn took a deep breath and spoke earnestly, "My deepest wish is to find the Lantern of Everlight and bring its light back to my village, so that we may restore our hope and joy." The cave's walls shimmered with a warm, golden light, and the grand door slowly creaked open, revealing the Lantern of Everlight glowing softly on a pedestal in the center of the cave. Its light was gentle yet powerful, casting a warm and comforting glow. The revelation, restoring light to the village. With the Lantern of Everlight in hand, Finn returned to his village. As he carried the lantern through the streets, its light began to spread, illuminating the once dark corners of the village. The lantern's light brought warmth and joy to the hearts of everyone who saw it. The damaged homes and fields started to heal, and the village was filled with a renewed sense of hope and happiness. The villagers gathered to celebrate the miraculous return of light and joy, and they thanked Finn for his bravery and determination. The tale of Finn's quest and the Lantern of Everlight became a cherished story in the village, a reminder of the power of courage, kindness, and the magic that can be found in the darkest of times. Under the warm glow of the lantern, the village thrived once more, forever grateful for the boy who had restored their light and their joy. Once upon a time, in a land of rolling hills and crystal rivers, there was a small kingdom nestled between the edge of a mysterious forest. This forest was known as the Whispering Woods, named for the strange and soft voices that could be heard rustling through the trees at night. No one dared to venture too far into the woods, for they were said to be enchanted and filled with ancient magic. In a village just outside the forest lived a girl named Alara. She was the daughter of a blacksmith, and while she spent most of her days helping her father in the forge, her heart longed for adventure. Alara had heard countless stories of the Whispering Woods, how they could grant wishes, or lead lost souls to treasure, but no one had ever returned from its depths to confirm these tales. One evening, as Alara was collecting water from the well, an elderly traveler came into the village. He wore a tattered cloak, his face hidden beneath a hood, and yet, there was something magical about him. As he passed by Alara, he stopped and looked at her with knowing eyes. Curious about the Whispering Woods, aren't you? The traveler asked in a low, crackling voice. Alara, startled by his words, nodded. I've always wondered what lies within, but no one dares enter. The old man smiled and reached into his cloak, pulling out a small, shimmering object, a golden key. It sparkled in the dim light of the setting sun, its surface engraved with ancient symbols. This key, he whispered, will open a door deep within the forest. It will lead you to something you seek, but remember, the forest is not without its dangers. The path you take will depend on the choices you make. Before Alara could ask more, the traveler handed her the key and vanished into the shadows, leaving her with a sense of wonder and fear. She knew that this was her chance, and her heart thumped with excitement. The very next morning, Alara packed a small bag with food and water, tucked the golden key into her pocket, and set off toward the Whispering Woods. The villagers watched as she disappeared into the trees, their whispers blending with the wind, warning her to be careful. The moment Alara stepped into the forest, she could hear it, the soft, ethereal whispers. They surrounded her, like the hum of a distant song. The trees were tall and ancient, their branches twisting into shapes that seemed almost alive. The further she walked, the louder the whispers became, until she could make out words, fragments of sentences, guiding her deeper into the woods. After walking for what seemed like hours, Alara came upon a large, twisted oak tree with a wooden door carved into its trunk. She could feel a strange energy pulsing from it, as if it were waiting for her. Remembering the golden key, she took it from her pocket and placed it into the lock. With a soft click, the door swung open, revealing a winding staircase that descended into the earth. Taking a deep breath, Alara began her descent. The staircase led to an underground chamber, glowing with the light of hundreds of fireflies. In the center of the chamber was a stone pedestal, and on it lay a silver box with intricate designs, almost identical to the ones on the key. As she approached, the whispers grew louder, urging her to open it. She hesitated for a moment, remembering the traveler's warning. But her curiosity got the better of her, and with trembling hands, she lifted the lid of the box. Inside was a mirror, small enough to fit in her hand, with a golden frame that sparkled like the sun. As soon as she touched the mirror, a voice echoed through the chamber, a voice clear and commanding. You have found the mirror of truth, Alara. This mirror will show you your heart's deepest desire, but beware, for it will also reveal what you must sacrifice to obtain it. Elara stared at her reflection in the mirror. At first, all she could see was herself, but then the image began to shift and change. She saw herself standing in a grand palace, wearing a crown of gold, with a kingdom at her feet. Her heart raced with excitement. Was this her destiny? But then, the image shifted again. She saw her father, sitting alone in his forge, growing older and frilier, waiting for her return. She saw her village, quiet and abandoned, as if everyone had forgotten her. A cold feeling crept into her chest. The voice spoke again. To gain a kingdom, you must leave behind all that you know and love. What is your choice, Elara? Tears welled in her eyes as she realized the cost of her desire. She could become a queen, but it would mean leaving behind her father, her village, and everything she held dear. Was it worth it? After a long moment of silence, Elara lowered the mirror and placed it back into the box. I cannot leave my home, not for a crown or a kingdom, she whispered. My heart belongs with my family, with the people I love. As soon as she spoke those words, the whispers in the chamber turned into a gentle breeze, and the mirror glowed with a soft, warm light. The voice echoed once more, but this time it was kind and full of pride. You have chosen wisely, Elara. True power does not lie in crowns or riches, but in the love and loyalty of those around you. Take this gift as a reminder of your strength. Suddenly, the box closed itself, and the golden key transformed into a delicate necklace with a small pendant in the shape of a heart. Elara put the necklace around her neck, feeling its warmth settle against her skin. She knew that the forest had rewarded her for her choice. With a heart full of peace, Elara left the chamber, climbed the staircase, and returned to the village. The forest no longer whispered to her as it once had, for she had discovered its secret. When she returned home, her father was waiting for her, a knowing smile on his face. You went into the Whispering Woods, didn't you? He asked. Elara nodded, clutching the heart-shaped pendant. I did. And I learned that some treasures are worth more than all the kingdoms in the world. And from that day forward, Elara lived a life full of love, never forgetting the lessons of the Whispering Woods and the golden key that led her to discover the true meaning of happiness. The end. Once upon a time, in a quaint village called Elmswood, nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, lived a young girl named Clara. Clara was known for her bright smile and her adventurous spirit. Her favorite spot was the meadow beyond the village, where wildflowers grew in a riot of colors and butterflies danced in the warm sunlight. One day, while exploring the edge of the enchanted forest, Clara found a beautiful, shimmering feather. It was unlike any she had ever seen, with hues that shifted and sparkled in the light. She picked it up, feeling a strange warmth spread through her fingers. That evening, she showed the feather to her grandmother, an old woman with kind eyes and a heart full of stories. Ah, Clara, her grandmother said, this is no ordinary feather. It belongs to the phoenix of the enchanted forest, a mystical bird of great power and wisdom. Legend says that whoever finds a phoenix feather will be granted one wish, but only if they prove themselves worthy. Clara's eyes widened with excitement. A wish? What must I do to prove myself? Her grandmother smiled softly. You must journey to the heart of the enchanted forest and find the phoenix. Along the way, you will face 3 trials that will test your courage, kindness, and wisdom. If you succeed, the phoenix will grant you your wish. Determined to bring prosperity to her village, which had suffered from poor harvests and harsh winters, Clara set out the next morning with the phoenix feather tucked safely in her satchel. As she entered the forest, the trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the air was thick with magic. She walked for hours, the light dimming as the canopy overhead grew denser. Eventually, she came to a clearing where a massive stone statue of a dragon stood. At its base was an inscription: to pass the first trial, show bravery true, face the guardian of stone, it must be you. Clara took a deep breath and stepped forward. The statue's eyes glowed, and it came to life, towering over her with a roar. Summoning all her courage, Clara spoke clearly and firmly. I am Clara of Elmswood, and I seek the phoenix to save my village. I have no weapon, but I have a brave heart." The stone dragon paused, then lowered its head in acknowledgement. "You have shown bravery," it rumbled. "You may pass." Relieved, Clara continued her journey. The forest grew darker, and the path became harder to follow. After a while, she encountered a stream with crystal-clear water. On the opposite bank stood a weeping willow tree, its branches drooping like a curtain. As Clara approached, she heard soft sobbing from the willow. "Who weeps so sorrowfully?" Clara called out. A face formed in the bark of the willow tree. "I weep for the creatures of the forest," it said. "They suffer from a blight that I cannot cure." Clara's heart ached at the willow's sorrow. She remembered the herbs her grandmother used to heal the sick. She found some nearby, crushed them into a paste, and gently applied it to the willow's roots. Slowly, the tree's leaves regained their green color, and the sobbing ceased. "Your kindness has healed me," the willow said. "You may pass." Clara smiled and thanked the willow before continuing on her way. The forest seemed to welcome her now, the path becoming easier to follow. Soon, she arrived at the base of a steep, rocky hill. At the top, she saw a cave entrance glowing with a golden light. As she climbed, she encountered an elderly man sitting on a rock, looking puzzled. "Good day, sir," Clara greeted him. "Why do you look troubled?" The old man sighed. "I have been trying to solve a riddle that guards the entrance to the Phoenix's cave, but I cannot figure it out." Clara sat beside him, and together they read the riddle inscribed on a nearby stone. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind." After a moment of thought, Clara smiled. "It's an echo," she said. The old man's eyes lit up. "Of course. Thank you, young one." As they approached the cave entrance, the light grew brighter, and they heard a melodious voice say, "You have shown wisdom. Enter, Clara of Elmswood." Inside the cave, the golden light intensified until it revealed a magnificent phoenix, its feathers blazing with 1,000 colors. The bird looked at Clara with eyes full of ancient wisdom. "You have proven yourself worthy," the phoenix said. "What is your wish?" Clara knelt before the phoenix. "Great Phoenix, I wish for my village to prosper and for our harvests to be bountiful so that no one will go hungry again." The phoenix nodded, a warm smile on its beak. "Your wish is noble and selfless. It shall be granted." With a flap of its mighty wings, the phoenix released a shower of golden sparks that filled the cave and enveloped Clara. When she opened her eyes, she found herself back at the edge of the forest, the phoenix feather still in her satchel, glowing faintly. As Clara returned to Elmswood, she saw that the village had already begun to change. The fields were lush and green, the river flowed clear and strong, and the villagers were healthy and happy. Her grandmother met her at the village gate, her eyes shining with pride. "You did it, Clara," she said. "You saved us all." From that day on, Elmswood flourished like never before. The villagers spoke of Clara's bravery, kindness, and wisdom, and her story was told for generations. And as for Clara, she continued to explore and seek out new adventures, her heart forever full of the magic of the enchanted forest. And so, the village lived happily ever after, forever grateful to the girl who dared to find the phoenix and bring its blessings to her home. Once upon a time, in a land where the mountains kissed the sky and the rivers sang sweet lullabies, there was a tranquil village named Meadowbrook. Known for its lush meadows and vibrant gardens, Meadowbrook was blessed with a unique flower called the star lily. The star lily bloomed only once every 100 years and was said to grant a single wish to the pure of heart who found it. In Meadowbrook lived a humble, kind-hearted girl named Clara. Clara loved nature and spent her days tending to her garden and helping her neighbors. She had heard stories about the star lily from her grandmother, who had always told her that finding the flower was a rare and wondrous event. One bright spring morning, Clara woke to find a message tucked beneath her pillow. It read, "The star lily blooms tonight. To find it, follow the light of the morning sun to the whispering meadow." Clara was thrilled and determined to see the star lily. As the day progressed, she prepared for her adventure, gathering a small satchel of provisions and setting out for the Whispering Meadows. The meadow was known for its beauty and tranquility, and Clara had always felt a special connection to it. As Clara walked towards the meadow, the sun began to set, casting a warm, golden light across the landscape. She followed the path through the meadow, guided by the soft glow of the evening sun. The gentle breeze seemed to whisper encouragement as she walked. Eventually, Clara arrived at a secluded grove at the center of the meadow. The grove was surrounded by ancient, towering trees whose leaves shimmered with a silvery hue in the fading light. In the center of the grove stood a majestic, glowing stone pedestal. On top of the pedestal was the star lily, its petals radiant with a celestial light. As Clara approached the flower, she was greeted by a gentle, shimmering figure emerging from the shadows. It was the spirit of the meadow, a guardian of the land with a graceful presence and eyes that sparkled like the night sky. "Welcome, Clara," the spirit said with a warm smile. "You have found the star lily, a rare and magical flower. To receive its gift, you must prove your heart's true nature." The spirit presented Clara with 3 tasks. 1. The task of kindness ***. Clara was to help a wandering traveler who had lost their way in the meadow. Clara spotted an elderly man looking confused and offered him guidance and companionship back to the village. Her kindness and willingness to help were genuine, and the man thanked her warmly. 2. The task of courage ***. Clara was to cross a narrow, rickety bridge over a deep chasm to reach a hidden glen. Despite her fear, Clara carefully crossed the bridge, determined to complete the task. Her bravery allowed her to safely reach the glen, where she found a basket of delicate, rare flowers. 3. The task of wisdom ***. Clara was to solve a riddle given by the spirit. The riddle was, "I am not alive, yet I grow. I do not have lungs, yet I need air. I do not have a mouth, yet water kills me. What am I?" Clara thought carefully and answered, "A fire." The spirit nodded in approval. Having completed the tasks with sincerity and grace, Clara returned to the star lily. The spirit of the meadow blessed her with a heartfelt smile and said, "You have shown kindness, courage, and wisdom. The star lily's magic is now yours." The star lily's petals began to glow more brightly, and Clara made her wish, "I wish for the well-being and happiness of my village, so that everyone may thrive in harmony and joy." As the words left Clara's lips, a soft, shimmering light enveloped Meadowbrook. The fields became even more fertile, the river sparkled with renewed clarity, and the village flourished with prosperity and peace. The magic of the star lily had brought a lasting blessing to Meadowbrook. Clara returned to her village, where she was greeted with gratitude and celebration. The villagers marveled at the new vitality of their land and honored Clara for her selflessness and bravery. Clara's wish had come true, and Meadowbrook became a place of joy and harmony for all who lived there. The star lily, having fulfilled its purpose, faded into a gentle glow, promising to return in another 100 years. Clara's story was passed down through generations as a testament to the power of kindness, courage, and wisdom. And so, Meadowbrook thrived in the glow of its newfound magic, and Clara lived a life filled with love, joy, and contentment. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a peaceful valley surrounded by rolling hills and lush meadows, there stood a grand, ancient willow tree. This tree was known as the Whispering Willow, and it was said to hold the secrets of the past and the hopes for the future. The villagers believed that the willow could speak to those who truly listened with their hearts. In this valley lived a young girl named Arya. Arya was known for her kindness and her love for the stories of old. She often visited the Whispering Willow, sitting beneath its broad branches and listening to its rustling leaves. Though she couldn't always understand the whispers, she felt a deep connection to the tree. One day, as Arya sat by the willow, she heard a faint, sorrowful whisper carried on the breeze. It seemed to be calling for help. She listened closely and made out the words, "Help us find the lost star." Determined to uncover the source of the whisper, Arya decided to seek out the lost star. According to village legend, the lost star was a magical star that had fallen from the sky long ago. and its light was believed to bring balance and harmony to the land. Arya set off on her quest, guided by the whispers of the willow. She ventured through the valley, over hills, and into a dense forest where the trees were tall and the air was filled with the scent of pine. The forest was dark and mysterious, but Arya's heart was brave. As she wandered deeper into the forest, Arya came across a sparkling stream. She followed the stream and soon discovered a hidden grotto with walls that glistened like gemstones. In the center of the grotto lay a small, golden chest covered in intricate patterns. Arya carefully opened the chest and found an ancient map and a shimmering star-shaped locket. The map depicted a series of landmarks, a crystal waterfall, a moonlit glade, and a secret cave. Arya realized that these were the places she needed to visit to find the lost star. She tucked the locket and the map into her satchel and continued her journey. First, she reached the crystal waterfall. The water cascaded down in a dazzling display of colors. And at the base of the waterfall, Arya found a hidden alcove with a glowing crystal. The crystal seemed to resonate with the locket she carried, and it pointed her towards the next landmark. Arya followed the directions to the moonlit glade. The glade was bathed in a soft, silvery light, and fireflies danced in the air. In the center of the glade stood a grand oak tree with a hollow trunk. Inside the hollow, Arya found a beautiful, silver box that contained a soft, shimmering light. The box seemed to pulse with a gentle warmth, guiding her to the final destination. The last landmark was the secret cave. As Arya entered the cave, she was greeted by a mesmerizing sight, walls of luminescent crystals that reflected the soft light of the locket. In the heart of the cave, Arya found a large, radiant star resting on a pedestal. It was the lost star she had been searching for. Arya carefully placed the star into the locket, and the locket's light grew brighter. She felt a sense of accomplishment and joy as the cave illuminated with a warm, golden glow. The star's light seemed to spread throughout the land, bringing a sense of peace and harmony. With the star restored to its rightful place, Arya returned to the Whispering Willow. The tree's branches swayed gently, and the whispers of gratitude filled the air. Arya felt a deep sense of fulfillment as she listened to the willow's soft murmurs. The villagers soon noticed the changes in the valley. The land seemed to sparkle with renewed beauty, and a sense of calm and happiness spread through the community. They celebrated Arya's bravery and her role in restoring the lost star's light. From that day on, the Whispering Willow continued to share its wisdom and guidance, and Arya often visited the tree, listening to its whispers and enjoying the peace it brought to the valley. The star's light remained a symbol of hope and harmony, reminding everyone of the magic that existed in their world. And so, the valley thrived under the gentle glow of the restored star, and Arya's bravery became a cherished story for generations to come. The end. Once upon a time, in a tranquil village named Leora, nestled at the edge of an enchanted forest, there was a special lantern known as the Lantern of Leora. This lantern was said to hold the power to light up the darkest paths and guide those who were lost or in need. Its light was warm and soothing, a beacon of hope and comfort. The lantern had been passed down through generations, but as the village grew, its light began to wane. The villagers were concerned, for they believed that if the lantern went out, their village would be lost in darkness forever. In the heart of the village lived a curious and brave young girl named Ava. Ava had always been fascinated by the lantern's magic and had often wondered why its light was fading. One day, she decided to embark on a quest to discover the truth and restore the lantern's brilliance. Ava visited the village elder, an old woman named Elowen, who had spent her life safeguarding the lantern's secrets. Elowen revealed that the lantern's light was fueled by three mystical gems: the Ember's Stone, the Moonstone, and the Starlight Gem. These gems had been lost over time, and their absence was the cause of the lantern's dimming light. To restore the lantern, Ava needed to find these three gems. Elowen handed Ava an ancient map and a small, magical compass that would guide her on her journey. With a determined heart, Ava set off towards the enchanted forest. The first destination on her map was the Cavern of Ember, where the Ember's Stone was said to be hidden. As Ava ventured into the cavern, she was met with intense heat and fiery obstacles. The cavern was guarded by a fierce, but wise fire serpent named Ignis. Ignis challenged Ava to prove her bravery. To do so, she had to navigate through a maze of flame and retrieve the ember's stone from a fiery altar. Using her quick thinking and courage, Ava carefully maneuvered through the flames, reaching the altar and claiming the ember's stone. Ignis, impressed by her bravery, allowed her to take the gem and blessed her with protection for her journey. Next, Ava followed the map to the Grove of Moonlight, where the moonstone was hidden. The grove was a magical place bathed in soft, moonlit glow, and it was home to a wise old owl named Luna. Luna guarded the moonstone and only revealed it to those who solved her riddle. Luna's riddle was, "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Ava pondered the riddle and realized the answer was a joke. Luna, delighted with Ava's cleverness, presented her with the moonstone and wished her luck on her quest. The final destination was the Summit of Stars, where the Starlight Gem was said to be guarded by an ancient dragon named Astra. The summit was a steep and treacherous climb, but Ava persevered, reaching the dragon's lair at the top. Astra, though formidable, was wise and kind-hearted. She told Ava that the Starlight Gem could only be obtained by demonstrating selflessness. Astra explained that Ava needed to give up something dear to her in order to receive the gem. Ava thought of her beloved compass, which had guided her through her journey. With a heavy heart, she offered the compass to Astra. Moved by Ava's generosity, Astra granted her the Starlight Gem and returned the compass as a token of gratitude. With all three gems in hand, Ava returned to her village. She placed the Ember's Stone, Moonstone, and Starlight Gem into the lantern of Leora. The lantern's light flared to life with a brilliant, warm glow that illuminated the entire village and the surrounding forest. The villagers celebrated Ava's bravery and the lantern's restored brilliance. The light from the lantern of Leora shone brightly, guiding travelers, bringing warmth to the village, and filling their hearts with hope. Ava's adventure became a treasured story in Leora, a tale of courage, cleverness, and selflessness. The lantern of Leora continued to shine brightly, a symbol of hope and a beacon for all who sought its light. And so, the village of Leora thrived in the warm, magical glow of the lantern, ever grateful for the bravery of a young girl who had brought light back to their lives. Once upon a time, in a hidden valley surrounded by misty mountains, there was a magical village called Starhaven. This village was known for its extraordinary night skies, where stars seemed to dance and twinkle more brightly than anywhere else in the world. The village's most cherished treasure was the Stardust Fountain, a beautiful fountain said to be blessed by the star spirits themselves. In Starhaven lived a curious and imaginative girl named Lyra. Lyra loved to stargaze and dream of distant places. She often wandered the village at night, marveling at the starry sky and listening to the gentle lullabies sung by the star spirits. One evening, as Lyra was near the Stardust Fountain, she noticed something unusual. The fountain's water had stopped shimmering, and the stars above seemed dimmer than usual. Concerned, Lyra approached the fountain and discovered a small, glowing note at its base. The note read, "To restore the star's light, you must find the celestial crown hidden in the Shadow Grove. Only then can the night sky be made bright again." Lyra felt a surge of determination. She knew she had to find the celestial crown to restore the magic of Starhaven. With a sense of purpose, she set out on her quest, guided by the light of the stars and the soft glow of the note. The Shadow Grove was a mysterious and dark forest on the edge of Starhaven. As Lyra entered the grove, she noticed that the trees seemed to whisper secrets and the air was filled with a sense of enchantment. She followed a narrow path that led deeper into the forest, where shadows danced among the trees. Suddenly, a soft, melodic voice spoke from the shadows. "To find the celestial crown, you must complete 3 trials," said a graceful figure emerging from the darkness. It was a moonlight fairy with wings that sparkled like stars. The first trial was the trial of courage. The fairy led Lyra to a vast, dark cavern where a fearsome dragon lay sleeping. To pass the trial, Lyra had to retrieve a glowing crystal from the cavern's center without waking the dragon. Lyra approached the dragon carefully, her heart pounding, but her determination was unwavering. With a steady hand, she retrieved the crystal and carefully returned it to the fairy. The fairy smiled and guided Lyra to the second trial, the trial of compassion. In a hidden glade, Lyra found a wounded nightingale with a broken wing. The fairy explained that the nightingale needed help to fly again. Lyra gently tended to the bird, using her own scarf to create a makeshift bandage. She sang a soothing lullaby, and the nightingale's strength gradually returned. The bird fluttered its wings and flew gracefully, and the fairy rewarded Lyra with a shimmering feather. The final trial was the trial of wisdom. Lyra was taken to an ancient, enchanted tree with a mysterious inscription on its trunk. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Lyra thought carefully and answered, "A joke." The inscription glowed brightly, revealing a hidden compartment containing a silver key. With the key in hand, Lyra followed the fairy to the heart of the Shadow Grove, where she found an ancient, locked chest adorned with celestial patterns. She used the silver key to unlock the chest, revealing the celestial crown, a magnificent crown adorned with radiant jewels that sparkled like the night sky. As Lyra placed the crown on the stardust fountain, the fountain's water began to shimmer with a brilliant light. The stars above grew brighter, filling the sky with a dazzling display of twinkling constellations. The magic of the night sky was restored, and the village of Starhaven rejoiced. Lyra returned to Starhaven as a hero. The villagers celebrated her bravery and kindness with a grand festival beneath the starry sky. The Stardust Fountain continued to shine brightly, and the night sky of Starhaven became even more magical than before. Lyra's adventure became a cherished tale in Starhaven, and she grew up to be a wise and inspiring leader. The stars continued to dance and twinkle, reminding everyone of the courage and compassion that had restored their light. And so, Starhaven thrived under the brilliance of its magical night sky, and Lyra's story lived on, a testament to the power of bravery and kindness. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a land where the skies were always painted with twilight hues and stars twinkled brightly, there was a small village named Celestia. The villagers lived in harmony with nature, and their lives were guided by the stars above. Each year, they celebrated the Night of Wishes, a magical evening when the stars were said to grant one special wish. In this village lived a kind-hearted boy named Leo. Leo was known for his adventurous spirit and his love for the night sky. He often spent his evenings stargazing, dreaming of discovering the secrets of the cosmos. This year, as the Night of Wishes approached, Leo decided he would embark on a quest to find the legendary Starlight Compass, a mystical artifact said to guide its bearer to their deepest desires. According to legend, the Starlight Compass was hidden in the heart of the Celestial Forest, a mystical woodland that shimmered with starry light. Leo prepared for his journey by packing a small satchel with essentials, a map of the stars, a lantern, and a warm cloak. With a heart full of determination and curiosity, he set out as the first stars began to appear in the evening sky. As Leo entered the celestial forest, the trees sparkled with a gentle, silver light, and the air was filled with the soft hum of celestial melodies. Leo followed a path illuminated by stardust, guided by the twinkling lights of fireflies that seemed to dance in rhythm with the stars above. After walking for some time, Leo came to a clearing where a magnificent, ancient tree stood. Its branches stretched high into the sky, and its leaves shimmered like a galaxy. At the base of the tree was a grand, golden door adorned with intricate star patterns. Leo approached the door and noticed a riddle inscribed on it. To find the compass and claim its might, you must seek the light within the night. 3 tasks you must complete with grace, and then you'll find the hidden place. The first task was the task of kindness. Leo saw a small, wounded fox nestled under the tree. With gentle hands, he tended to the fox's injury and wrapped it in a soft cloth. The fox looked at Leo with grateful eyes before scampering off into the forest. The second task was the task of courage. Leo heard a faint, mournful sound coming from a deep, shadowy ravine. Peering into the darkness, he saw a family of glowing fireflies trapped inside a spider's web. Summoning his courage, Leo carefully freed the fireflies, who buzzed around him in a grateful, joyous swirl. The final task was the task of wisdom. Leo found an ancient stone tablet with a constellation map. The map depicted a series of stars forming a pattern. The riddle's final clue was inscribed on the tablet: find the star that guides the way, and it will lead you where you may. Align the stars with your true aim, and the compass will reveal its name. Star. Leo studied the constellation map and aligned the stars according to their patterns. As he did, the golden door began to glow with a soft, warm light. The door creaked open, revealing a hidden chamber bathed in starlight. In the center of the chamber was a pedestal with a shimmering compass resting upon it. The compass had a crystal-clear face and delicate, silver pointers that glowed with an otherworldly light. Leo carefully took the starlight compass and felt a surge of warmth and clarity. The compass's needle pointed towards the sky, and Leo knew that his deepest wish had been granted. With the compass in hand, he followed its guidance back to Celestia. As he arrived, the stars seemed to shine even brighter, and the village was filled with a renewed sense of wonder and magic. On the Night of Wishes, Leo shared the story of his adventure and the magic of the starlight compass with the villagers. The compass's light illuminated the night, guiding the villagers' wishes and bringing joy and hope to everyone. From that night on, the starlight compass became a cherished symbol in Celestia, reminding everyone that with kindness, courage, and wisdom, the stars would always guide them to their deepest desires. And so, the tale of Leo and the starlight compass became a beloved legend, celebrating the magic of the night sky and the power of dreams. Once upon a time, in a land far beyond the reach of ordinary travelers, there existed an enchanted forest. This forest was unlike any other, filled with trees that sang melodies when the wind blew and flowers that glowed with the colors of the rainbow. The animals of the forest lived in harmony, guided by the wisdom of the great oak, an ancient tree whose roots held the secrets of the world. In this magical forest, there lived a brave little squirrel named Nutmeg. Nutmeg was known for his adventurous spirit and kind heart. He would often explore the deepest corners of the forest, always eager to discover something new and help his fellow creatures. One sunny morning, as Nutmeg was gathering acorns, he noticed something unusual. The singing trees had gone silent, and the glowing flowers had dimmed. The air felt heavy, and a sense of unease settled over the forest. Nutmeg decided to visit the great oak to seek its guidance. When Nutmeg reached the great oak, he found the wise tree looking worried. "Great oak, what is happening to our forest?" Nutmeg asked with concern. The great oak sighed deeply. "A dark spell has been cast upon the enchanted forest. The source of our magic, the crystal of light, has been stolen by the wicked sorcerer, Malachar. Without the crystal, our forest will wither and die." Determined to save his home, Nutmeg stood tall. "I will find Malachar and retrieve the crystal of light," he declared. The great oak nodded. "You are brave, Nutmeg. Take this enchanted acorn. It will protect you on your journey and guide you to the sorcerer's lair." With the enchanted acorn in his paw, Nutmeg set off on his quest. He traveled through the dense forest, across babbling brooks, and over steep hills. Along the way, he encountered many challenges but faced them all with courage and wit. One day, Nutmeg came across a wounded fox named Vixen. "Please help me," Vixen pleaded. "I was attacked by Malachar's shadow creatures." Nutmeg helped Vixen tend to her wounds, and in return, she offered to guide him to the sorcerer's lair. "Malachar's lair lies deep within the Shadow Valley," Vixen explained. "But beware, the valley is filled with dangerous traps and creatures." With Vixen's help, Nutmeg navigated the treacherous path to the Shadow Valley. They encountered fierce storms, towering cliffs, and eerie darkness, but Nutmeg's bravery and Vixen's knowledge kept them safe. Finally, they reached Malachar's lair, a dark and foreboding castle surrounded by thorny vines and guarded by shadow creatures. Nutmeg took a deep breath and whispered to the enchanted acorn, "Guide me to the crystal of light." The acorn glowed softly and pointed towards the castle's tallest tower. With Vixen by his side, Nutmeg sneaked past the shadow creatures and climbed the tower. At the top, they found a locked door with intricate carvings. "How will we get through?" Vixen asked. Nutmeg held the enchanted acorn to the door, and it began to glow brightly. The carvings on the door shifted and transformed into a keyhole. Nutmeg inserted the acorn, and the door swung open, revealing a shimmering crystal on a pedestal. "The crystal of light!" Nutmeg exclaimed. As he reached for it, Malachar appeared in a swirl of dark smoke. "Foolish creatures! You will never take the crystal from me," Malachar sneered. But Nutmeg was not afraid. He held the enchanted acorn tightly and faced the sorcerer. "Your dark magic cannot overpower the light of the forest," Nutmeg said boldly. With those words, the acorn shone with a blinding light, enveloping Malachar and dispelling his dark magic. The sorcerer screamed and vanished into the shadows, defeated. Nutmeg carefully took the crystal of light and thanked the acorn for its help. Together with Vixen, he returned to the enchanted forest, where the great oak and the other creatures awaited anxiously. When Nutmeg placed the crystal back in its rightful place, the forest came alive once more. The trees sang, the flowers glowed, and the air was filled with joy and harmony. The great oak smiled down at Nutmeg. "You have saved us all, brave Nutmeg. Your courage and kindness will be remembered forever." From that day on, Nutmeg was celebrated as a hero in the enchanted forest. He continued to explore and help his fellow creatures, always carrying the enchanted acorn as a reminder of his incredible journey in the power of bravery and light. And so, the enchanted forest thrived in peace and magic, thanks to the brave little squirrel who believed in the power of goodness and never gave up. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a land where magic danced through the air, there was a hidden garden known only to the stars and the moon. This enchanted garden was said to bloom only under the light of the full moon, and its flowers were rumored to possess extraordinary powers. The garden lay deep within the Whispering Forest, a place where few dared to venture. In a small village on the edge of this forest lived a kind-hearted girl named Mia. Mia loved nature and often helped her neighbors with their gardens. Despite the village's charm, it faced a persistent drought that made it hard for crops to grow and for the villagers to thrive. Everyone was worried, but no solution seemed to work. One evening, as the full moon rose high in the sky, Mia sat outside, hoping for a miracle. Her grandmother, a wise old woman with a twinkle in her eye, had once told her stories about the moonlit garden. Mia decided that if anyone could find a way to help her village, it would be her. The journey begins with a determined heart. Mia packed a small bag with essentials, a warm cloak, some bread, and a flask of water. She also took along a locket given to her by her grandmother for luck. As the moonlight bathed the land in a silver glow, Mia ventured into the Whispering Forest. The forest was alive with the sounds of rustling leaves and whispering branches. As Mia walked, the forest seemed to guide her, leading her deeper into its heart. After some time, she arrived at a sparkling stream that she had never seen before. The water was crystal clear and shimmered with a soft light. An old owl perched on a nearby branch greeted Mia. "Welcome, young traveler," the owl said in a deep, soothing voice. "To find the moonlit garden, you must first answer a riddle. Only then will you find the path." The riddle Mia nodded and listened carefully as the owl spoke. "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Mia thought for a moment and then answered confidently, "A joke." The owl hooted in approval. "Well done. Follow the stream, and it will lead you to the entrance of the moonlit garden." The moonlit garden following the stream, Mia came upon a hidden gate covered in ivy and glowing softly in the moonlight. With a deep breath, she pushed open the gate and stepped into the moonlit garden. The garden was even more magical than she had imagined. Flowers of every color imaginable bloomed under the moon's light, their petals shimmering like stars. In the center of the garden stood a large, ancient tree with a trunk covered in golden leaves. As Mia approached the tree, she noticed a small, golden key hanging from one of its branches. Next to the tree was a beautiful fountain with a note that read, "To those who seek, a wish can be granted. But only if the heart is truly pure and selfless." The wish Mia took the golden key and approached the fountain. She made a heartfelt wish, I wish for my village to have enough water and for our crops to thrive." As she spoke her wish, the fountain's water began to sparkle more brightly. The golden key floated above the fountain and then gently landed back on its branch. A soft, warm light enveloped the garden, and Mia felt a sense of peace and fulfillment. The return home with her wish made, Mia turned to leave the moonlit garden. As she walked back through the whispering forest, she noticed that the forest seemed to hum with happiness, and the path appeared more vibrant. When Mia reached her village, she was greeted with astonishment. Rain had begun to fall, soaking the dry earth and filling the wells. The crops in the village gardens were already showing signs of new growth, and the villagers rejoiced at the sudden turn of events. Mia shared her story about the moonlit garden and the magical fountain with the villagers. They were amazed and grateful for the miraculous change. They celebrated with a grand feast, honoring Mia for her bravery and kindness. The legacy of the moonlit garden. The village thrived with the return of rain and abundant crops. Mia continued to care for her community, and the legend of the moonlit garden became a beloved tale passed down through generations. The garden itself remained a secret, known only to those with pure hearts and a selfless wish. As for Mia, she grew up to become a wise and compassionate leader, always guided by the magic she had witnessed in the moonlit garden. The village prospered, and the memory of the magical night lived on in the hearts of all who had witnessed the transformation. And so, the village flourished, and the moonlight continued to shine brightly over the land, a reminder of the magic that lies in kindness, hope, and the willingness to help others. The end. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a great, ancient forest, there was a tree known as the Whispering Tree. It was said that the tree could speak to those who approached it with a pure heart and a humble wish. The villagers believed that the tree held secrets and magic that could change their lives. In the village lived a young boy named Finn. Finn was known for his kindness and his love for helping others. Despite his humble means, he always tried to bring joy to those around him. The village, however, was struggling with a harsh winter, and many of the villagers were facing hardships. Finn wanted to do something to help, but he didn't know where to start. One snowy morning, as Finn walked through the village, he overheard the village elder speaking about the Whispering Tree. The elder mentioned that the tree had not been visited for many years, and its magic might be the key to bringing relief to their struggling village. Determined to find a way to help, Finn set out to find the Whispering Tree. He wrapped himself in a warm cloak and braved the cold, following the winding path into the heart of the ancient forest. The snow crunched beneath his boots, and the trees stood tall and silent, their branches heavy with frost. After a long and arduous journey, Finn finally reached a clearing where the Whispering Tree stood. The tree was enormous, with branches that seemed to touch the sky and leaves that shimmered with a faint, silver glow. Finn approached the tree with reverence and said softly, "Great Whispering Tree, I have come to seek your help for my village. We are suffering, and I wish to bring them relief." As Finn spoke, the tree's leaves rustled gently, and a soothing voice emerged from the trunk. "Young Finn, to grant your wish, you must prove your heart's true desire. There are 3 trials you must complete, each testing your kindness, courage, and wisdom." Finn nodded, ready to accept the challenge. The first trial was the trial of kindness. The tree guided Finn to a small, icy stream where he found a family of ducks struggling to find food. Their pond had frozen over, and they were hungry. Finn used his scarf to create a makeshift feeding area and gathered some seeds and crumbs to feed the ducks. The family of ducks quacked gratefully, and Finn felt a warm glow of satisfaction. The second trial was the trial of courage. The Whispering Tree led Finn to a dark, foreboding cave where a mysterious, magical creature was said to dwell. Inside the cave, Finn encountered a timid, glowing fox caught in a net. Though the cave was dark and eerie, Finn approached the fox with bravery, freeing it from the net and calming its fears. The fox, now free, showed Finn a hidden path back to the forest's edge. The final trial was the trial of wisdom. The Whispering Tree presented Finn with a riddle carved into a stone, *, "I am not alive, but I grow, I don't have lungs, but I need air, I don't have a mouth, but water kills me. What am I? Star. Finn pondered the riddle carefully and soon realized the answer. A fire, he said with confidence. The tree's branches rustled approvingly, and a soft, radiant light enveloped Finn. With all 3 trials completed, the whispering tree spoke once more. You have shown kindness, courage, and wisdom. Your heart is true. I will grant your wish. The tree's magic swirled around Finn, and a gentle, sparkling snow began to fall from its branches. The snow carried a magical warmth that spread through the forest, melting the frost and bringing a gentle springtime breeze to the village. Finn returned to his village to find that the harsh winter had lifted, and the land was now fertile and lush. The villagers were amazed and overjoyed, their hardships eased by the unexpected miracle. Finn shared his story of the whispering tree and the trials he had faced. From that day on, the village flourished, and Finn's kindness was celebrated. The whispering tree became a symbol of hope and renewal, and the tale of Finn's bravery and the magical trials was passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the power of a pure heart and the magic that lies within. And so, the village thrived once more, its fields rich and its people joyful, forever grateful for the heart of a young boy who sought to bring light and warmth to those in need. The end. Once upon a time, in a charming village nestled between rolling hills and a sparkling river, there was a quaint little shop known as the Enchanted Lantern. The shop was run by a kind old woman named Granny Maeve, who was famous for her magical lanterns. Each lantern had its own special charm, and it was said that they could light up the darkest night and grant wishes to those who truly needed them. One crisp autumn evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars began to twinkle, a young girl named Eliza wandered into Granny Maeve's shop. Eliza was a curious and kind-hearted girl with a deep love for stories about magic and wonder. Her family had fallen on hard times, and she hoped that Granny Maeve's lanterns might bring a bit of light to their struggles. Granny Maeve greeted Eliza with a warm smile. "Welcome, dear. What brings you to my shop this evening?" Eliza hesitated for a moment before speaking. "My family is having a difficult time. I've heard that your lanterns are magical. I was hoping one might help us." Granny Maeve's eyes twinkled with understanding. "Ah, magic is a wondrous thing, but it requires a pure heart and a kind wish. Let me show you something special." She led Eliza to a corner of the shop where a single, ornate lantern sat on a pedestal. It was adorned with intricate patterns and shimmered softly with an inner light. "This is the Lantern of Hope," Granny Maeve said. "It is said to grant one heartfelt wish to those who seek it with genuine intentions." Eliza's eyes widened with wonder. "How does it work?" Granny Maeve explained, "You must make your wish while holding the lantern close to your heart. But remember, the lantern's magic works in mysterious ways. It may not always grant what you expect but will give you what you truly need." Eliza took the Lantern of Hope with a grateful heart and made her way back home. As she held the lantern close, she whispered her wish for her family's troubles to be eased. The lantern glowed softly, and Eliza felt a warm sense of hope wash over her. That night, as Eliza and her family sat down for a modest dinner, they noticed something strange. The food they had prepared seemed to magically multiply, providing more than enough for everyone to enjoy. Their spirits lifted as they realized they had more than they had hoped for. Over the following days, unexpected things began to happen. Their crops, which had been failing, started to flourish. Neighbors who had not spoken in years began to reach out and offer help. A generous merchant arrived in the village, offering work to those in need. Eliza's family found their lives gradually improving in ways they hadn't imagined. One evening, Eliza returned to Granny Maeve's shop to express her gratitude. "The Lantern of Hope worked wonders for my family. Our lives have changed so much." Granny Maeve smiled gently. "The lantern's magic revealed the hope and kindness that were always within your hearts. Sometimes, the true magic is not in the lantern itself but in the love and support of those around us." Eliza nodded, understanding the deeper meaning of the lantern's gift. "Thank you for showing me that. I will always cherish the lesson." From then on, Eliza and her family continued to thrive, and they made it a point to help others in need, sharing the magic of kindness and hope they had experienced. The village prospered as the spirit of generosity and support grew stronger, and the Lantern of Hope became a symbol of the power of a kind heart and the strength of community. And so, the tale of the Lantern of Hope lived on, reminding everyone that true magic lies in the love we share and the hopes we nurture. Once upon a time, in a picturesque village surrounded by lush meadows and sparkling streams, there lived a kind-hearted girl named Mia. Mia loved the outdoors, especially the fields of wildflowers that bloomed every spring. She spent her days wandering among the flowers, admiring their beauty and listening to the songs of the birds. One spring morning, while exploring a particularly dense thicket near the edge of the village, Mia stumbled upon a hidden glade she had never seen before. In the center of the glade stood a single, radiant flower unlike any she had ever encountered. It was a delicate blossom with petals that shimmered like the night sky, adorned with tiny stars that twinkled as if they were real. Intrigued, Mia carefully approached the flower. As she bent down to admire it, the flower began to glow softly and spoke in a gentle, melodious voice. "Hello, Mia. I am the Starflower, and I have been waiting for you." Mia was astonished but listened intently as the Starflower continued. "I have a secret that I need to share. Many moons ago, a powerful enchantment was cast upon our land to protect it from harm. But now, the magic that keeps our world safe is fading, and the enchantment is weakening. Only a pure-hearted soul like yours can restore the magic." The Starflower explained that to renew the enchantment, Mia needed to find 3 magical relics hidden in different parts of the land. Each relic was guarded by a creature of magic and required an act of bravery and kindness to retrieve. Determined to help, Mia set out on her quest. The first relic, the Crystal of Light, was said to be hidden in the Enchanted Forest, a place known for its mystical creatures and ever-changing paths. As Mia ventured into the forest, she encountered a majestic stag with antlers that glowed like the moon. The stag was trapped by a thorny bramble, unable to move. Mia carefully freed the stag from the bramble, and in gratitude, the stag guided her to a hidden grove where the Crystal of Light lay atop a pedestal, surrounded by a ring of glowing mushrooms. With the crystal safely in hand, Mia continued her journey. The second relic, the Feather of Winds, was said to be guarded by a wise old owl in the Whispering Mountains. Mia climbed the rocky paths to reach the owl's lair. The owl was perched atop a high cliff, and it asked Mia to solve a riddle to prove her worth. With her quick thinking and kind heart, Mia solved the riddle, and the owl gifted her the Feather of Winds, which shimmered with all the colors of the sky. The final relic, the Heartstone, was hidden in the depths of the river, guarded by a gentle water spirit. The river was swift and treacherous, but Mia showed courage by helping the spirit, who was tangled in a net left behind by careless travelers. In return, the water spirit led Mia to a serene underwater grotto where the Heartstone glowed with a warm, soothing light. With all 3 relics collected, Mia returned to the hidden glade where the Starflower awaited. The flower glowed even more brightly as Mia placed the relics around its base. As she did, a wave of magic surged through the land, restoring the enchantment and filling the world with a renewed sense of wonder and harmony. The Starflower thanked Mia for her bravery and kindness, and as a reward, it granted her a special gift, a tiny, enchanted seed. The seed had the power to grow into any flower Mia desired, and it would always remind her of the magical adventure she had experienced. Mia returned to her village, where she planted the enchanted seed in her garden. The flower that grew from it was the most beautiful and unique bloom anyone had ever seen. It became a symbol of the magic that existed in the world and a reminder that even the smallest acts of kindness could have the most profound effects. And so, Mia's tale of bravery and kindness spread throughout the village, inspiring others to seek out the magic and wonder in their own lives. The enchanted glade remained a cherished secret, and the Starflower's legacy continued to shine brightly in the hearts of those who believed in the power of magic. Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, nestled between tall mountains and emerald forests, there lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known for her bravery and kind heart, but also for her insatiable curiosity. She lived in a small village on the edge of the kingdom, where life was peaceful and simple. One day, As Elara was exploring the woods, she stumbled upon an old, tattered book buried under a pile of leaves. The book was filled with stories and legends about the kingdom, but one story in particular caught her eye, the tale of the dragon's tear. According to the legend, the dragon's tear was a magical gem with the power to grant a single wish to anyone who found it. The tear was said to be hidden in a cave deep within the Forbidden Mountains, guarded by an ancient dragon named Thaler. Thaler was known to be fierce but also wise, and it was said that he would only give the tear to someone who proved their worth. Elara, filled with excitement and determination, decided she would find the dragon's tear and use it to help her village, which had been suffering from a terrible drought. She packed her bag with provisions and set off on her adventure early the next morning, leaving a note for her parents so they wouldn't worry. The journey to the Forbidden Mountains was long and arduous. Elara trekked through dense forests, crossed rushing rivers, and climbed steep hills. Along the way, she encountered various creatures, some friendly and others not so much. She befriended a talking squirrel named Nutmeg, who decided to accompany her on her journey. After days of traveling, Elara and Nutmeg finally reached the base of the Forbidden Mountains. The mountains loomed high above them, shrouded in mist and mystery. As they began their ascent, they were met with harsh winds and rocky terrain. Despite the difficulties, Elara's determination never wavered. After several grueling days of climbing, they reached the entrance of the cave where Thaler was said to dwell. The cave was dark and foreboding, with an eerie silence that sent shivers down Elara's spine. With Nutmeg by her side, she gathered her courage and stepped inside. The cave was vast and winding, with tunnels that seemed to stretch on forever. Elara followed the path as the old book had described, her heart pounding with anticipation. Finally, they reached a massive chamber, its walls glistening with the faint light of glowing crystals. At the center of the chamber lay Thaler, the ancient dragon. His scales shimmered in hues of deep blue and silver, and his eyes glowed with wisdom and power. Thaler lifted his head as Elara approached, his gaze piercing yet calm. "Who dares to enter my domain?" Thaler's voice echoed through the chamber, deep and resonant. "I am Elara," she replied, her voice steady despite her nerves. "I have come to seek the dragon's tear, to save my village from drought." Thaler studied her for a moment before speaking. "Many have come before you, seeking the tear for their own gain. Why should I grant it to you?" Elara took a deep breath and explained her journey, her love for her village, and her desire to help those in need. She spoke of the hardships her people faced and her determination to bring them relief. Thaler listened intently, his expression unreadable. "You have a kind heart and a noble spirit," Thaler finally said. "But before I grant you the dragon's tear, you must pass a test. You must show me that your intentions are pure and that you possess true bravery." Thaler then breathed a stream of fire into the air, forming a ring of flames around a pedestal in the center of the chamber. On the pedestal sat a small, ornate box. "Retrieve the box without extinguishing the flames, and the dragon's tear shall be yours." Elara nodded and stepped forward, her mind racing. She knew she had to act quickly and wisely. She remembered the lessons she had learned from the villagers, about how courage often meant finding solutions in unexpected ways. With a determined glint in her eye, Elara took out her water flask and poured a small amount into her hands. She then walked towards the flames, her heart pounding. Instead of trying to pass through the flames, she carefully sprinkled the water over them, creating a narrow, steam-filled path. She quickly darted through the gap and reached the pedestal. As she picked up the box, the flames died down, and Thaler let out a deep, rumbling laugh. "Well done, Elara. You have shown wisdom, bravery, and a pure heart. The dragon's tear is yours." Elara opened the box and found the tear, a beautiful gem that shimmered like liquid silver. She thanked Thaler and promised to use the tear wisely. With Nutmeg by her side, she made her way back to her village, the precious tear safely tucked away. When Elara returned, the villagers were overjoyed to see her. She explained her journey and the magic of the dragon's tear. With a wish from the tear, the skies darkened, and rain began to fall, ending the drought and bringing new life to the village. Elara's bravery and selflessness became a legend in Eldoria, inspiring others to act with kindness and courage. The village flourished, and Alara's story was passed down through generations, a reminder that true magic lies in a heart full of love and a spirit of determination. And so, the kingdom of Eldoria thrived, its people living in harmony and prosperity, forever grateful to the brave girl who brought hope and life back to their land. The end. In a peaceful village surrounded by ancient forests and sparkling rivers, there was a humble cottage owned by a kind old woman named Eloise. Eloise was known for her enchanting lanterns, each one imbued with a bit of magic. The most famous of all was the Lantern of Luminara, a lantern that glowed with a warm, golden light and was said to have the power to grant a single wish to anyone pure of heart. One crisp autumn morning, a young girl named Lily arrived at Eloise's cottage. Lily was known for her generous spirit and her deep love for the forest and its creatures. She had heard tales of the Lantern of Luminara and hoped it could help her solve a troubling problem. "Please, Eloise," Lily said as she approached, "I need your help. The forest animals are disappearing, and the once lush forest is withering. I fear that something terrible is happening." Eloise, who had seen many wondrous things in her lifetime, agreed to help. She handed Lily the Lantern of Luminara and instructed her, "This lantern can guide you to what you seek. Follow its light with a brave heart and a clear mind, and it will lead you to the answer you need." With the lantern in hand, Lily set out into the forest. The golden light from the lantern illuminated her path, casting a warm glow on the trees and guiding her deeper into the woods. As she walked, she noticed that the forest seemed eerily quiet. There were no chirping birds or rustling leaves. After a while, the lantern's light began to flicker and dim, and Lily found herself standing before an ancient, gnarled tree. The tree's bark was darkened, and its branches drooped as if burdened by sorrow. At the base of the tree was a small, locked door with intricate carvings of woodland creatures. Lily gently touched the door and, to her surprise, it creaked open. Inside, she discovered a hidden chamber filled with dust and cobwebs. In the center of the room stood a grand, ornate chest. The chest was locked with a heavy, rusted padlock. As Lily examined the padlock, she noticed a small inscription above it, "To unlock the heart. You must first mend what is broken." Determined, Lily searched the chamber and found a small, cracked mirror lying on a dusty shelf. She picked it up and saw that its surface was marred by a deep crack. Holding the mirror up to the lantern's light, she noticed something magical. The crack began to heal, and the mirror slowly returned to its pristine condition. With the mirror mended, the padlock on the chest clicked open. Lily opened the chest to reveal a shimmering, silver key and a note. The note read, "To restore the forest, you must return the key to its rightful place." The keys seemed to hum with energy, and Lily felt a sense of urgency. Following her intuition, she left the chamber and continued through the forest, guided by the lantern's light. The forest grew darker and more forlorn, but Lily's determination never wavered. The lantern led her to a clearing where a large, stone pedestal stood. Atop the pedestal was a keyhole that seemed to fit the silver key perfectly. Lily inserted the key into the keyhole and turned it. The moment the key turned, a burst of light erupted from the pedestal, and the forest began to shimmer with new life. Flowers bloomed, trees straightened, and the air was filled with the joyous sounds of woodland creatures returning to their homes. Lily looked around in awe as the forest was restored to its former glory. The Lantern of Luminara glowed brighter than ever, and a soft, melodious voice echoed through the clearing. "You have restored the heart of the forest, Lily. Your pure heart and courage have brought back the magic." The voice belonged to a guardian spirit of the forest, who appeared as a gentle figure made of light and leaves. "The forest will forever be grateful for your bravery. As a token of our thanks, take this enchanted seed. When planted, it will grow into a tree that will always watch over the forest." Lily accepted the seed with gratitude and returned to her village. She planted the seed in a special spot in the forest, and it quickly grew into a magnificent tree with golden leaves that shimmered like the lantern's light. The villagers celebrated Lily's bravery and the restored forest with a grand festival. The forest flourished, and the Lantern of Luminara was returned to Eloise's cottage, where it would await the next pure-hearted soul ready for an adventure. And so, the forest thrived under the watchful eye of the golden tree, and Lily's tale became a cherished story passed down through generations, reminding everyone of the magic that lies within a brave and kind heart. The end.